Special playoff edition of the Shipcast. We got the pick'ems fired up. Eagles, Bucks. We got Kyle Dvorak from NBC swinging by in the third quarter. We'll recap a bunch of our high stakes action from all of the playoff contests we were discussing last week. Let's do it.
Pat Fryer Helmo.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Handjob.
Fix your sight.
Jamar. Alpha play chase.
Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally this boys. You're right.
All right. No Amazon Prime. We got YouTube TV fired up. Ben Gretsch, Pat Carrain. How are we doing?
Doing good.
Excited.
I know. I was tabbing through some of the underdog playoff best ball teams. It's funny because normally you scroll through your teams and you look for the ones that are scoring the most points and you click on those and you're like, no, I'm not going to click on those because they have Jake Ferguson. I got to go click on the ones that are barely scoring and advancing. Those are the ones that might be interesting.
Yeah, I've got a lot of dead teams named dead-solo Dak. There were some dead/solo Tua. But
you're going through and naming dead teams. You have too much time on your hand.
I'm going through and naming the dead teams so that I can see which teams are actually live. Because then when I had all them named, then teams would bubble up and I would be like, "Oh, this one's just named the Gauntlet," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, what's this one?" And it'd usually be like a Josh Allen team, but yeah, I mean it's tough because I mean Liam's out here posting screenshots of like all of these Josh Allen 49ers team, so I'm not even that excited about my Bills teams because I didn't draft them.
Where does he get his ideas?
I didn't draft only Bills for 3 weeks when they weren't likely to make the playoffs. So I think I need a KC San Francisco Super Bowl and I can take down the Gauntlet.
Yeah, my rule after this week, I'll go through and name some teams, but I didn't dial into the sweats here. Our team, I will mention the high stakes one we did, the Dallas Baltimore one that was so clean. It's of course advancing, but it'll be dead on arrival because it's a Dallas onslaught. With Baltimore.
God, yeah.
I guess how small that contest is. If Baltimore goes nuke like this week, it could advance again. But
I have one it's in a small field, in like the DK 333, and that like it's a pretty small tournament, and it's just all Bills. But I'm like, I have all the Bills. Like I have Cook and like Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid, and like, so I'm like, I actually wonder if I could maybe take it down just because it's a very difficult structure to advance out of the first round.
I got a team. I drafted 2 teams on my road trip because I was spending a lot of time actually talking with my buddy and stuff. But I got a team that has 4 49ers that's advancing right now. That's
really? That's impressive. Without Ferguson?
Without Ferguson.
Wow.
It's Josh Allen. It's a Buffalo San Fran. Okay, so 2 of the 49ers are Elijah Mitchell and Juwan Jennings. I should have led with that. But it's Purdy Ayuk. Allen, James Cook. I did David Montgomery and Sam Laporta. My third team was 2 Detroit players, and they both scored TDs, and they're both playing. Kincaid, James Cook, Josh Allen, and those 2 Detroit guys. It's advancing.
Good work.
Nice.
We got the Baker's already dealing here. Let me pull up our pick'em for the night. So we had some fun with the rivals tab. The core entry. Actually, that was the 5 leg. Let me get the core up first, and then we can build on it. So yeah, this was the core entry here. We have Chris Godwin higher than 9.85 fantasy points. We have Devontae Smith higher than 5 receptions. And then we have Baker Mayfield beating out Jalen Hurts in passing yards. And Jalen Hurts is getting spotted 18.5 yards. So we need him to outthrow Jalen Hurts by 18.5. And then we have those 3 in the core. And then we extended it with a little Dallas Goedert spice, 1.75x if he gets a TD. And then another rival, DeAndre Swift versus Rashad White, total scrimmage yards, so rushing and receiving. DeAndre Swift is getting spotted 14.5 total scrimmage yards to Rachaad White, but we got the Bucs side on both of those rivals. Pretty good start here with Baker dealing.
Great start. 36 pass yards for Baker already. White's got 11 rushing yards on his first 2 carries here. So he's already – those adjustments are getting erased quick, which is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. Yeah, the White one is kind of fun because I don't think we got hurt by like a correlation adjustment. And it's sort of a stack with Baker because, White has such receiving upside. So – working our little correlation angle there.
The chat just asked how FFPC is looking. Leone went to the Bills game. I wish he didn't because we could have had him on to break it down because he's way more in the weeds, I think, than any of us three. I
think Leone sent probably I'll try not to be hyperbolic. He probably sent like 80 to 90 screenshots over the course of the weekend of like various teams, what we needed each game. Yeah, we definitely have some live teams. I would say things didn't break as perfectly for us as we would have hoped.
We have one team that's like the pure nuts, but instead of Aaron Jones, it has Jaden Reed. And that really, really burns us.
We only did 2 Jake Ferguson lineups. So one of those is a Ferguson lineup. We went pretty heavy on Lamb. And I mean the run out of the Packers becoming the first 7 seed to win in the 4th season that we've had 7 seeds, and then also Ferguson scoring 3 TDs over and Lamb scoring 0. I mean, both of those things, because Lamb still could have been close to Ferguson in a loss, but it became such a big gap that Ferguson's a really key piece for this, because we've talked about before, but the teams that get eliminated are the players who are locked in now, right? And so Ferguson becomes so massive. He was only owned on like 1.7% of teams. We went pretty comfortable, like just riding the chalk on CD. But yeah, to your point, like that's one of our best teams if we would have just had Aaron Jones. And then our other Ferguson team does have Aaron Jones, who we were overweight on, but like doesn't have the other.
But it has all sorts of other issues. Yeah. I mean, we were happy with the Packers winning. I think that helps us. It just stinks that Lamb got locked into a not terrible score, but way worse than Ferguson. And then we also had it somewhat split between Aaron Jones and Jaden Reed. Now, maybe Jaden Reed has a big game next week, but you feel way better about your Jones teams right now.
He's sending some points.
Chris in the chat asking about the ownership projections. I mean, just scanning it, Pat, you were very dialed in on it. What were the biggest surprises?
Yeah, so I actually made a little chart. Maybe I can share it. The biggest surprise was Cleveland. So Cleveland was sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. Cleveland people just did not fade. And that's not something that I really anticipated. And so that then allowed people let's see, they didn't fade Cleveland at all. And then they did fade Miami.
We faded Miami
more than I expected. And then they also played the Miami running backs more than I expected. So kind of this like a lack of enthusiasm for Tyreek. I did get some feedback that I probably should have gotten there a little bit more, but I just didn't. It just like felt weird to me that people would come off Tyreek for the running backs. It still does. Like, and I think it was probably wrong. And then people just didn't fade Cleveland, which was also a mistake. So there was.
You're saying if they came off Tyreek, they should have went to a fade of Miami, right? Like, why would you come off?
Yeah, they should have probably gone to a fade of Miami. Going to a fade of Miami I think that was. I mean, obviously that worked out well, but that wasn't like I wasn't like completely off base there. I had a 20% fade on Miami projected, and that came in at 31. But I only got half of the Cleveland fade, or sorry, I projected twice as much Cleveland total fade as came in. So I had that at 36%, and it only came in at 18%. So there was a little bit more fading of the Ravens, but not a ton. I had that at 18, it came in at 23. So overall, I think I did pretty well. My R squared to the, let's see, let me zoom out here. My R squared was 0.934, which
Very
I think
good.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
So let me,
Incredibly good.
I'll present here.
Yeah, on the Achan stuff, I was trying to think it through. You know, I do think the weather narrative stuff really kicked into gear. It was part of why, you know, I felt Pacheco was going to become more popular. I think people were really spooked about passing in that environment.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you know, Achan starts to look pretty nice here. It also feels like a clean pivot, you know, the Tyreek to Achan. I can tell myself a story of Achan having as much upside as Tyreek Hill or whatever.
Well, on Miami and Green Bay, when those numbers came in, my immediate thought was, we did on the show all week talk about picking a side in the Miami KC game and playing both sides of the Green Bay Dallas game as like a really sharp way to play it. And I do think we had a little bit of this with some of your ownership misses last year, Pat, where, I mean, I'm not saying we're moving the market a ton, but like the advice we're giving is also, I think, influencing ownership at least a little bit in certain directions. And it's like, oh, okay, well, how much do you adjust for that? It's kind of hard to do, right? But
Right.
because then it changes the advice that we're giving. Like the reason we're giving the advice we're giving is kind of based on the expected ownership. And so it is a little bit of a cat and mouse game.
Yeah, that is funny. So this would be like guys I overprojected would be on the bottom part of this line here. And then guys I underprojected. Like Amon-Ra, underprojected. I had him, I think at, let's see, I had him at 70%. He came in at 78%. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these top guys is pretty damn close. On CD, I had 90, came in 87. McCaffrey, 85, came in 79. The big miss is Tyreek, had 73, only came in 50.
And
So
that's the thing where, like,
pretty
if we knew Tyreek was coming in at 50, we might have been more like, certainly I think I would have been less like fade Miami, right? Like the idea of him at 73 was part of like, you can actually get off Miami, but like Tyreek at 50% means Tyreek Hill. I know that there's some cold weather issues, but he does end up scoring a long touchdown in that game. I mean, it just would have changed the analysis to have it projected at 50, right? Like I feel like then we may have pushed it back up.
What did our exposure on Tyreek come in at?
We were about even with the field, as it turned out. I think we ended up.
We were trying to be
around,
underweight. Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up around 48, which I think was right. Like we didn't want to get nuts. But Pete, you were right about the Cleveland one with Njoku. Njoku came in higher than I expected. A lot of people not fading that game flooded to Njoku. Amari, I was just barely under. So all of this Cleveland D that I overprojected really went to Njoku. That's how people played it.
Right. The everyone was not on the fades.
Yeah. And then let's see, the Ravens, I overprojected Lamar. Didn't really underproject Zay Flowers. I overprojected the kicker a little bit. Underprojected the D, which is kind of interesting. That was maybe there was a little bit of kind of industry steam on the D. So maybe that was a market moving sort of situation. But yeah, quarterback was kind of weird because it was way more spread out than I think it should have been. I think people really overthought quarterback.
Yeah.
Like you've got, I had 2%. Dak came in 8%. I mean, that was a tough play, even if they won. I think. I mean, obviously, he had a great game, but like, I don't know. They weren't nearly as good at that to get to the Super Bowl, and they're
concentrated offense. He doesn't scramble a ton. The AFC quarterbacks do scramble. So if he meets Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, I mean, even if it's Ferguson, you might have the optimal be Ferguson plus Lamar or Ferguson plus Allen. Likely Lamb, if they play 4 games, ends up having a really strong stretch. They're not running 4 games without Lamb or Ferguson doing something. Like it's not like Michael Gallup's going to come out of his freaking grave and go on a 5 touchdown run over 4 games. It's not happening, right? So,
and it's the 2v2s. Like you can say, "Oh, Dak had this huge game," but so did Josh Allen. So you're already like, even if Dak won, you'd already be like, I don't love this Dak line.
Josh Allen did it with a 50-yard touchdown run. Like
exactly.
Dak's not running for 50-yard touchdowns. Like that's not happening.
So, and then I think 2% Flacco. Like I just put all this stuff down to 0, but That's 5% of the field right there. 2% Flacco or 4%, 1% Stafford, 1% Stroud. The Stroud one maybe you feel okay about, but I don't know. It's just a little cute for me in this tournament.
This is kind of rad. I'm seeing. I mean, Julio just caught a little pass. Eagles probably going to just use Julio like AJ Brown in this game.
Just slides right in.
Just slide him in. You got Julio Jones. I mean, that's not a bad replacement. So the chat was asking a couple things. Well, one, they're kind of wondering like about our portfolio. I scrolled through all of Leone's stuff. The ones that like where our ownership versus field ownership, just pure, plus minus leverage. The top plays that we came in above the field on were Cooper Kupp, Devonta Smith in this game, who came in light. Like we thought Devonta Smith
really light, yeah.
He might come in high. Rashee Rice, Chris Godwin was a little pivot because he came in so low at 4.2%. McCaffrey, McCaffrey went up as our 5th highest leverage player.
That's crazy.
Only came in at 79%. We played him 92%. We went really hard on McCaffrey. Singletary, Jaden Reed was one of our big ones. Dalton Schultz, Lamar, we were overweight. And Miami fade. I think that's the top 10. And then the biggest that we were under were Kyron, Green Bay's fade because we played Green Bay more than faded them. Jake Elliott, the kicker, who we projected for, or it came in with really high ownership as well. Pat, you nailed that. And we went underweight on that. Isaiah Pacheco, Achane, Amon-Ra, because he came in really high. We still have 67% of him. Fairbairn, Houston defense. A lot of the ones we're most underweight on are kickers, D's, fades, because we spread those out more than the field tends to. Nothing else massive. Evans, James Cook, and Njoku are the next 3, but we have decent positions on each of them.
That's kind of where we're at, where our overall portfolio and kind of the big, directional fades and, leverage spots broke pretty decently for us. We just
really well.
Didn't assemble them. We didn't hit the nuts in the first week where you could just like run away with it if it's like chalk after that.
Right. That was the other thing I was going to say. The chat asked, what's our highest scoring team right now? And we haven't even really talked about that because it's kind of like not the way to look at it. But it's not
really how we're looking at it, yeah.
If we did dig into it and look at it, what we're going to find is like it has something like Houston's D on it. And I mean, Houston's D might show up as something really positive in the end. But because they advanced, like you don't probably want to be fading Houston. I'm going to find it.
Yeah, I'll pull up some.
Like first place in the contest right now has, I think it's Justin Tucker and Niners D.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, you're soft fading, the 2 biggest teams.
Our current highest scoring team is a Justin Tucker team. We did run some Baltimore soft fades. It's a KC defense team, which is not great. We were basically playing Miami to win, but we had Tyreek Hill in. It had Puka Nacua, it had Aaron Jones, it had CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, Josh Allen team. It's probably not super live. Like, it's not our best team. That team's in 66th. We have one in 75th. We have one in 97th. We have one in 313th next after that. But, I mean, a lot of the teams that are in the middle of the pack are going to be based on Lamar and Christian McCaffrey, and those players haven't even played yet. So there's a lot, to come from this point forward.
Yeah, I'm pulling up some of the teams that Leone shared.
The team, our second highest scoring team in 75th is a Ferguson. It's that Ferguson Jaden Reed. It has Rashee Rice. It has Puka Nacua. It has Nico and Tyreek Hill. It's a Josh Allen team. It doesn't have any of the wrong teams faded. Everything would be perfect if we just were off of Reed and on Aaron Jones in this flex spot. It also has Rashad White in this game. It could have been a 2v2 where we had Aaron Jones and Mike Evans instead of Rashad White and Jaden Reed, which we have on a lot of other teams, kind of a 2v2 like that. This team is really good if Jaden Reed can do something in their second game.
Yeah.
But it would be way better if it had Aaron Jones. But Rashee Rice and Puka and all those pieces and Ferguson, it's a really good team.
I was doing the all numbers look the same thing in like a coping way, watching the Packers, where every time Romeo Doubs caught a pass, I'd just tell myself, what if that's Jaden Reed? Could it just be Jaden Reed? No, fucking 87 every time.
Apparently he only ran 11 routes.
God. Nuts.
I mean, they only dropped back 21 times. Is like the biggest part of that. But God, I mean, I guess the big thing there is like if they get in trail script or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, hopefully, what's crazy is they normally do some jet motion tip passes for him. Usually, he gets like 3 free catches a game.
I know. Yeah, they rotated their receivers so much.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward. I think we're gonna get the Jaden Reed, Debo Samuel, Spider-Man meme game. You know, each of them getting all the gadget touches, yards after the catch.
love that.
I said it in our group chat. I was pretty stunned how big that spread was. Like I know the Niners are very good. But for a team that plays as aggressive as Green Bay, like getting that 10 points, I was like, wow.
I couldn't figure out who that was. Yeah, David Moore. I was like, that's not Godwin. Who is that?
I have some teams up, Pete, if you want to show people.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, this team.
So everything is yellow normally, and then Leone has color-coded green, orange, red in terms of whether the plays look good, average, or bad right now.
Right. So this one's a Diggs Lamar team with the Miami fade. Pitt fade would be green if Leone wasn't in the snow. So, you know, this team's interesting, right? But it doesn't have Ferguson. Would be the big. It's got Lamb, Maher. You feel okay about. You'd probably rather have Puka. But you know, it's solid. We have a lot of teams that are kind of like this. Oh, was that Evans?
Oh, Evans.
Evans. Oh, buddy. Normally, I feel like it's Baker's fault when they miss from like those obvious ones. That one was on Evans.
It goes on.
That reminded me of one of our NFC teams because we have a couple NFC teams as well, and the one that we talked about, we pivoted to Evans. That has Rashee Rice and Aaron Jones and is stacked. That would have been a good touchdown for that team.
Yeah. This one's interesting. It's got Kaimi Fairbairn, which hurts. But yeah, Lamar team with Kincaid. So this one's kind of interesting.
What did Kincaid end up with FFPC scoring?
I don't know. Decent because he had that touchdown.
I know.
I think you're gonna.
I didn't.
The Fairbairn thing is such a red, not just because of Fairbairn, but because you don't have Nico or Singletary or Dalton Schultz even scores the long TD. It doesn't do
or the
a lot
D.
else.
Like if you're fading that team,
or the D. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of good pieces on Houston. This is a great, like this lineup's a great example of the struggle. Even if you run a lot of teams in this contest, like you can get a lot right, and it's a 12-man roster, but you get the kicker spot wrong, and like it can fuck your whole lineup because like you kind of have to have a Houston somewhere else. David Moore.
Oh my God, he's gonna score.
He's out here just balling.
Wow. I mean, our Baker head-to-head versus Jalen. He's got away.
Feel pretty good about that now.
Great.
The thesis was always David Moore yak to that point.
I mean, it was the Eagles are so bad at pass D that David Moore might be able to get some yak. I mean, that's kind of the thesis, right?
This one, I mean, maybe if the fade here at Evans catch would have helped this lineup.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they just ran into each other. 2 Eagles just pick play on each other.
This is the type of lineup I could see winning, though, if we get this Tampa Bay one right. Because, yes, we have Cooper instead of Njoku, which hurts, and you don't get Ferguson. But we have Brandon Aubrey. So we correctly soft-baited a 1 or a 2 seed. And we got Puka. And if Josh Allen is the guy you need in the Super Bowl, like this team looks pretty legit to me.
I kind of love this idea that like if Baker can win this game, we're gonna have Baker versus Jared Goff and Jordan Love versus Brock Purdy, and that's your NFC quarterback.
That's insane. That's like the only way the 2023 playoffs could go, right? Considering what did we have? 8 starting quarterbacks who played every game this season, like the year of the backup quarterback. I mean, that's the conference finals or divisional weekend we deserve.
It's amazing. The other side is stacked, though. You have Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. You have C.J. Stroud, the best rookie we've had in a decade, versus Lamar Jackson. I mean, the AFC QBs look fucking like it's that meme where you have like the two dragons and then the goofy looking one. Like the AFC quarterbacks,
NFC quarterbacks. Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's over here, like
well, yeah, it's not even just Baker. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, Jordan Love's with him. They're like, it's amazing.
So you guys get excited about this lineup here with me here, guys.
Sorry.
This
one's kind of fun.
It is. It's like a legitimate. I mean, like the way. Like trying to actually plan out the scenarios and the way things get there you have to do a lot of mental gymnastics and math to like figure out some of these things, especially with the soft fades and because the other thing too with some of the soft and hard fades was whether another soft fade would actually put up a decent score. Cause that was the big thing heading into today, that there was no kickers and Ds on losing teams that had done anything.
Right.
Yeah, I think you feel best about Maher probably, right? Or
Leone was saying Jason Sanders at 2 because there wasn't really a huge Dolphins skill player. Sanders scored 2 points, but might actually be the optimal kicker right now. I think it's probably Chris Boswell now, who kicked a field goal and got a couple extra points in that game. He got like 6 points, and no other Steelers did anything. So Boswell.
Oh, and you'd rather that's true. You'd rather have Puka.
Yeah, you'd rather have Puka than Maher, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a total mindfuck to think.
Honestly, Aubrey's not a bad one because, first of all, it means you've faded the Cowboys and you have, if you have Jones,
Aubrey was so mega that the amount of Ferguson teams that you're going against isn't huge.
Exactly.
There's like 125 in the entire contest, Leone said, Ferguson teams, which is more than I thought because it's like 1.7%, but there's like 7,000 or whatever. So
yeah, but he was good, but you're gonna need other good pieces. So I think there'll be stuff like this feels like it's gotta still be live.
It's so funny that only doing 2 Ferguson teams, we were like double the field, and we still don't have.
Yeah,
we still don't have it's like you have to hit the nuts. I mean.
It's so funny too, because I remember having the conversation like when we were early in the week. It was maybe either our ownership show or the Boomer Opto show, and people were tossing out, like Ferguson and random stuff, and we're like, the Ferguson stuff can hit. It's a tight needle. You need the Cowboys to lose and Ferguson to score 2 TDs. That's exactly. So we could probably find that clip. That's exactly what happened. It just happened to be 3 TDs, and the shredded.
3 TDs instead. The other side of it was when we were talking through tight end, and we're like, okay, you got Kelsey and Njoku, and then even when we're thinking about the next best tight ends, like his name would come up, but you're probably thinking Goddard and Kincaid. Who can Kincaid look solid? I think Goddard has a chance in this game. We haven't seen much yet, but like Ferguson, sort of the third one, where it was like he has to overcome so much more by being able to beat CeeDee Lamb, right? Like, I mean, that just seems harder. And his team's probably going to win. And can he do it in 2 games? I mean, but that's what's so fun about this contest. That type of a needle can be thread. You can see that some years where there's a big upset and there's, the sort of fluky scoring. I mean, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Like, well, the scenario where we would have felt buried would have been if like Achane did that. Like the 3 TDs and a loss from the guy that the field piled on that we weren't expecting, and then it's like what, a third of the field is just like has buried our lineups. That would have been tough.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was very reminiscent of a few years ago when the Steelers and the Browns played that shootout in the first round when Baker was in Cleveland and Ben Roethlisberger was still in Pittsburgh, and Cleveland got out to the huge lead, but Pittsburgh threw 59 times, I want to say it was. And Juju had a horrible year, and nobody wanted to play Juju. Leone made us play some
Except
Juju.
Leone.
And then he had like a 35-point game. It was his only good game of the whole year. I'm certain it was his best game of the season fantasy wise. And
this was when it was Juju, Deontay Johnson, and someone else, right?
Claypool.
Claypool, that's right.
And Juju's the third guy that you would play at that point. I mean, that's the way it was. And he went off. Man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm bummed we didn't get a photo of Leone at the game.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. I thought that was coming for sure.
Some of those photos from the stadium looked hilarious.
He must have been a little nervous about everything. Chat saying this game is over. The Eagles don't look good. And I mean, when you don't have AJ Brown, I don't expect you to. So falling behind early is not ideal.
Yeah, the
game
defense looks rough.
I mean, and this is kind of like, this is where, I mean, the Eagles were such a tough team, right? Because their form heading into the playoffs was awful. They're banged up, and yet you're getting such discounted prices on them that you're really having, like, the most likely scenario is that they are kind of washed this year, and yet the prices you were getting, you had to fuck around and find out.
Yeah, and I fucked around and found out a lot in the gauntlet and stuff. Like a lot.
I mean, this is one of those things where, like, they still have a lot of talent. They still have the idea of a good offensive line. They can still dominate you just running the ball, even if AJ Brown's not in there. You still have this really mobile quarterback. I mean, theoretically, they could control a game still on offense, right? Like, even if they did quit 7 weeks ago, as Sam's saying as an Eagles fan in the chat, but like, you've seen teams that looked worse come out and be able to dominate the line of scrimmage and win games. I mean,
like the Chiefs.
The Bucs aren't unbeatable. Yeah,
the Chiefs have looked up.
The Chiefs have looked horrible.
Season.
And they came out and looked great. It's a great example. They looked like the best version of themselves. They could have looked like shit too.
I have no idea what to expect from that Chiefs-Bills game.
I'm so
What did
excited
that line
for it.
open up?
I don't either. I heard 2.5 Buffalo.
Okay.
Which I thought it would be 3 or maybe even over 3. I think that's a lot of respect for KC because they got to go on the road. And I think Buffalo's probably the better team right now, right? And so you're usually talking about 2.5 to 3. Oh, so Sam's saying Bills -3. I saw -2.5 somewhere. Did it already move to -3? Or did it move to -2.5?
I'm pulling it up here. I see it as -2.5 right now.
Okay.
Packers +10, Texans +9.5. Who do you guys think is more live, Texans or Packers?
Ooh, great question. I think Texans.
I think Packers.
I think both teams are a little bit live for sure. It's fun.
I feel worse about San Francisco playing left-handed, right? Like they have to do that. San Francisco plays their game. They want to be up. They want to be balanced. They don't want to be down. Purdy's a very specific quarterback. If like they come out and just like put up points and are like, let's fucking do a shootout again, which will be difficult against the 49ers defense, of course. But if they can put up points, like San Francisco's not going to enjoy that.
How about this for a take? I actually don't know if this actually threads the needle of the take, but the Texans have a better chance to win. The Packers have a better chance to cover. I think the Packers play so aggressive. Like DeMeco Ryan, like he'll run, he'll kick the field goal. You know, he will.
Isn't it the opposite then? If they're playing more aggressive, aren't they more likely to win but not cover?
No, because I'm saying if the Ravens like extend a lead, they're just going to keep playing their brand of football. Whereas the Packers are just going to chuck and stay aggressive, and it could backfire and they could have pick sixes or whatever, but they're never taking their foot off the gas as far as trying to get big plays.
Yeah.
I love Chris's reply. I don't know what the hell that means, but it sounds smart.
Well, I kind of feel like the game could get away from the Packers more than it could get away from the Texans, probably, right? So in that sense,
But then the Niners just run the ball a ton, and the Packers just keep throwing. Is kind of what I'm saying.
They keep throwing, and they backdoor cover. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that might be the way to play it. I don't know. The Ravens defense is like really good, as is the 49ers defense, but that would be, although, I mean, they just lit up the Browns who have a great D. So
the other thing too, I mean, there has to be an element like Packers already going on the road and doing this. You know, the Texans got to play at home in the dome, you know, that first playoff game. Like that was a pretty comfy environment to get your first playoff win versus, the Packers going into what I'm now calling Jordan World.
Why not both? If we just
why
get
not
both
both?
7 seeds winning, like that would be really, really wild. Not 7. What? Houston's the 5th seed or 4th seed.
I don't know if we can just give our Bills Homer friends a layup walk to the Super Bowl. Then you got Stroud going on the road to Buffalo.
Still gonna have to beat KC.
Take them out. Take the Bills out too.
Yeah.
That Buffalo KC game is going to be pretty legendary. I'm pretty excited. I mean, they've always played competitive games. Their regular season game had the Travis Kelce lateral, Kadarius Toney lined up offsides play, right? That cost us potentially a great ending because Josh Allen would have had another chance after that TD. Their playoff game a couple years ago, somebody shared some stat that was EPA per game. EPA per play. And Jordan Love, I think, has one of the best games in the last decade, maybe the best game in the last decade of EPA per play in the playoffs. But it was a list of the best games, and both Allen and Mahomes' game were on it from that one, a couple years ago. Yeah, they were like both in the top 10. And so like that's what that game was. And it was way more volume than Jordan Love because it's an EPA per play stat. Jordan Love only dropped back 21 times. We just talked about that. But this was a game where they were going at each other late. They both dropped back a ton of times, and they both had top 10 EPA per play games of like a decade of playoff football in the same game. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not going to live up to that, but at the same time, these teams know each other so well. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes always seem to elevate their game when they're playing each other, seem to have so much respect for each other. That's my favorite rivalry right now, man. It's so fun to watch those two teams.
Do you guys have a feel for that one?
What if Gabe Davis could have gone today and they're like, no, we're saving you for the Chiefs. The Chiefs killer, Gabe Davis.
Maybe.
What if they're saving Kadarius Toney for the Bills?
There you go. It does. That is also the beauty of like the Bills Chiefs matchup is one of their random ass wide receivers is going
100%,
off.
100%.
Yeah. It'll be like Mecole Hardman, Deontay Hardy exchanging blows.
Mecole Hardman, I think, has got to be the favorite right now to just randomly pop off.
Dude, the chat just brought up Liam. I think I'm rooting for Buffalo for Leone and our Go Bills buddies and all them. But how much does Liam and what his Twitter antics would be if they won? How much does that outweigh it?
It would be so much easier if all of our, Bills fans were also just, fantasy football sun runners. If they were sad sack, like all they have is this Bills team. But all these guys do is win the highest profile contest in fantasy football.
Repeatedly.
Just over and over again.
Constantly winning them.
Go Bills owns the main event. Leone owns the Thunderdome. I guess Liam won BBM too.
I heard he won some other tournaments too.
Well, he's got some pretty sweet gauntlet teams. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
He's always listing a lot of teams that have won. I don't know what they are.
My Twitter account since Cash Game Week has just been like Liam jokes. It's like really hasn't lost a step as far as engagement. Like I could literally just make Liam jokes like with 90% of my tweets.
You made one today. You did the picture of him with the Bill Stadium today.
No man, I missed this. I'm going straight to your. I mean, you're getting my engagement during this show.
Yeah. It's engaging instead of with
word
you.
of mouth engagement. I could tell you what it is, but I'm going to make you go there and hit the like.
No, I want to go engage and like and probably retweet.
Well, it's the ongoing storyline of Liam refusing to go help shovel. Despite apparently loving this team.
It has 96 likes and no retweets because no one wants to retweet that face. Oh, so good.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I think I'm rooting for the Chiefs. Sorry, Leon.
I will say we are doing I guess, do we know yet? Because we're going to do one more shipcast. We're doing the Sunday Night Football Conference Championship. Do we know if that's AFC or NFC? Have they established that yet?
We do not. I don't know that. I don't think they announce it until the matchups are known. Maybe someone in chat will know. Oh, CBS is the early game. Fox is the late game. That tells me it's probably NFC late.
Yeah. I was saying
It's kind of a bummer because we could have. I think you want those 4 quarterbacks on the AFC side that we were just talking about.
Yeah. Leone's
We're gonna be getting Jordan Love and fucking Baker Mayfield. That's gonna be great.
That's a better. I mean, Shipcast never promises great football. That's not what Shipcast did.
So true.
If anything, we promise awful football.
Right. So getting the NFC side is probably
that's fair. Move. Yeah, we can all watch the good game closely, and then we can come hang out for the shit game. Yeah,
we'll talk about the good game during the shit game. That's actually very on brand.
Yeah. Who's playing? We're talking about the last game. We're actually literally doing that. We're talking about the Bills. Well, Tampa's over here. I mean, the only thing about Tampa that annoys me, I mean, I'm happy for Baker. I'm happy for this team. They're scrappy. Like, they win the division. But it's also, like, kind of annoying. Like, they just had Tom Brady a couple of years ago. And when, like, got a Super Bowl with Tom Brady, the Lions fans were like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. We won our first playoff game in 30 years. Like, I'll never ask for anything the rest of my life. Bucs fans are like, I mean, we just won a Super Bowl like a couple years ago with a different guy, and now we have Baker Mayfield. And they're not long suffering. They're not suffering at all.
No,
I mean, they were long suffering before the Brady Super Bowl.
A little bit. They won in the early 2000s a title as well with Gruden.
There was a decent amount of concern about Baker's health heading into this game, and that's what I didn't want to see was like an injured Baker just like limping around out there. He can barely throw because his ribs hurt too much. Like we're getting a slinging Baker.
He's chucking it.
He's slinging it. He just slung it right to an eagle, but it got knocked down. That should have been a pick.
Leone's fingers have thawed out. He's in our chat. Nice. All caps victory. Don't worry, guys. I'm back and updating our sweats. So guys back on the grind. Screenshots incoming.
Whew. I'm excited. The Leone screenshots are great. Leone tilts this contest harder than anyone. I would put him so good at it. Anyone in the field.
I usually can try to keep pace with them a little bit, but with all the travel and all the stuff going on in Husky Land and being sick, I've not been engaged, and it has been glorious to have Leone keep me engaged with all of his
He
comments.
has some system where he gives them a lineup score, and I've tried to figure out if the score is fed by his color coding because he color codes every player, and I don't think it is. But because there's no formula to it, it's literally just a number. But then I'm like, how the fuck is he coming up with the score? Like, is he doing it in his head? And the score's not intuitive. It goes from like -8 to like 9. So I don't know.
Dude, Leone could offer a service like it would be called like the concierge sweat service. And like whether it's your best ball portfolio or whatever your DFS, he's just like constantly giving you like little nuggets and facts. He's like, I just ran a post-lock sim, and you have a 36% chance to min cash the spy.
We joked about running post-lock sims on our lineups, and then Leone was like, "It's a pretty good idea.
I'm gonna do that." After the Houston game, he was like, "Houston's DST is now optimal to be the DST to win, even though they're gonna play in a second game, and you have like another Nico thing." Like he simmed it all, and I was like, I don't want to know that. I just want to tell myself that they can't be because we're going to get 2 games of Nico and we're going to get 2 games of everyone else. Like, that's not – but, I mean, that's what the Sims will tell you. Sometimes they tell you things you don't want to know.
Yeah, it's true. The Sims don't always cooperate with what you would like to be true. He's out here scoring the last – I don't understand what this score comes from.
So the live line right now is Tampa -7. Over under 46.5. That was my favorite, just like spread or over under of the week was over 43 in this spot. I thought that just seems light for 2 really bad pass defenses.
Yeah,
we'll see if the Eagles can do their part though.
So we have a lineup that's got the Jaden Reed lineup. It's a Jake Elliott lineup, and it's a Baltimore DST lineup, and it has Jake Ferguson. That feels like obviously we need the Eagles to lose. We have Rashad White on this
Is this
team.
the one on screen here?
This is no.
It's Ferguson.
Oh,
He
No,
said Ferguson.
Here, I'll
He has
I need to
where's
see
this
it closer.
lineup score thing?
dude, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how the fuck he comes up with it, but it like seems accurate. Like whenever I look at him, I'm like, yeah, that's I don't know like why this is a 6, but that seems about right. Yeah. Let me
He's gonna sounds like he might pop on for a minute here. He
is
could
Chase
teach us some stuff.
McLaughlin going to enter the combo?
I mean, I think you said this was the kicker game. I think, unfortunately, because no loser has been good. I mean, unless Tampa wins and Elliott gets like we're fading Elliott at this point because it looks like Tampa's going to win and Elliott is really high owned. We do not want Elliott to like get a couple long field goals.
Well, we got this one. I mean, this is the Jaden Reed one. This is like the nuts if we have.
This is
This
the
one hurts so much.
It
This
could
one hurts so
be.
much.
It could be Jaden Reed, Rashad White, could be Aaron Jones, and either of the Bucs receivers, which would be totally consistent with how we played it. Reed and Aaron Jones were coin flips for us. We didn't actually play as much White as we played the Bucs receivers, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
It would be like not
If this
that
was
weird.
Jones and Chris Godwin, it wouldn't be surprising at all.
It would be like a totally normal lineup for us. And unfortunately, that's just not how this one pieced together where we had Ferguson.
But I feel like getting the other game from Reed, like it's possible. I mean,
But you still also have a huge leverage piece here if Baltimore loses.
exactly.
That's the game changer on this.
Yep.
There goes Devonta.
There you go,
man,
buddy.
We'll take that. We'll take that. We have over catches.
Yeah, I
talked
think
through that,
at his
Pete.
first catch.
Yeah, it is, man. I was like, because we had the yardage thing offset, but now he has like all of Jalen Hurts' yards so far, and it's like, and Baker's crushing. You just wish you'd have the yards at this point, I guess.
Yeah, we have such a nice lead on the yards, though. Now we just need some dink and dunk.
There's another one. Boom, underneath.
Nice.
Oh, stop making so many moves.
We got to get Leone on here. I got to ask him about this score.
He's coming.
Okay, I'm just dying to know how he does this.
He's literally tilting the team that you just pulled up on screen right now in the chat.
Oh, because I put it in the chat so I could then share the
Yeah.
screenshot. So he's probably
Yeah.
like,
He just said the Reed team would be 5 points clear of everyone else with Aaron Jones.
it's still like 76th overall. I think it's live. I think that team is live.
Here he is.
Yo,
What's up?
What's
Go
up?
Bills.
Congrats, buddy.
What was it like, dude? Were you freezing your ass off?
Nah, dude, I got my big puffy coat. Nothing gets in there.
Do you take your gloves off at all? Like to
Yeah, it
be on
wasn't-
your phone, drink a beer.
Yeah, it wasn't like insanely cold. I went to the Patriots game in 2021 that was definitely colder. It really wasn't too bad. It was, but your seats was like there was just snow, kind of like you were standing on snow. You couldn't really sit down. Not that anybody was sitting down anyways, but
Yeah. Was the atmosphere though pretty fun?
yeah, it was pretty sweet. There were actually kind of a lot of Steelers fans, at least in the section that I
Really?
was in, because we were behind the visitors bench. But yeah, it was still pretty awesome. It was pretty cool to be there.
That's
no assigned
surprising.
seats. How did that work out?
I just bought tickets through Ticketmaster, just third party.
But I mean, there was no like seats, right? You just sat where
No, that was, I don't know. So many
was
people
that
asked me about that. That was made up. Yeah. As far as I know, it was made up.
Did you have to shovel the snow off your own seat?
Yeah, pretty much.
The only I hope it was made up because if it was really the first game without assigned seats and you sat in your assigned seats, that's a real missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't made up, it's news to me. I sat where I was supposed to.
This is my seat.
You got home and instead of, making a cup of hot cocoa and warming up, you ran to the computer to update the sweats.
Yes.
I
I was itching. I was like,
Without his
I was like,
hesitation.
oh, do I
No,
mark the
Elliot,
DST
you missed
as
this.
orange or green?
Seriously, Jake?
We're fading Jake Elliott at this point, right, Leone?
I
Oh, wait,
think
no,
he's
he
pretty
made it.
high up.
I don't know.
But he's on that
Pat
best
just
team
sent
that
it
you
to
just
me.
showed.
Yeah, he's
Pat
on
just sent it
several
to
of our
me
good
with
teams, I
Jake
think.
Elliott.
He's on our Ferguson team. Yeah, that's true. I can't
Yeah, our
believe Jaden Reed got
Ferguson
0
team-
points.
It's the most frustrating. Like, it's the closest I think we've ever had to like the nuts, and it's just
It's one player off.
it's.
And
like
Aaron
being
Jones is
nuts.
one of our biggest like
Yeah,
stances that
we
we
played a
took.
shitload of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
That's this contest in a nutshell, where you're like, we had the fucking Packers right. We were like lower on their fade
Yeah, I thought
than
you-
anything. We were
No,
playing one of their players in every lineup. We have a ton of Aaron Jones. And
Oh,
we don't have him.
Elliott made the field goal, so that was good, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that good?
I think it's good.
I
Yeah, I
thought-
think we're fine with Elliott.
I think we're underweight him overall, but we have him on
We-
some key teams, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah, it's so weird to sweat because it's like you don't really know what you're rooting for.
Yeah,
Well, it's a constant battle of, are you rooting for the overall portfolio and perhaps giving another team the chance to bubble up that you weren't hawking, versus like rooting for a specific individual team?
Right.
So, Leone,
Um,
this score
it's-
that you create, how are you creating the score? Is it a formula?
It's not very scientific and it's not that great because it doesn't like do the magnitude, but I'm just marking like the good plays in green, kind of bad but not dead in orange, and really bad in red. And then there's some plugin I downloaded where you can do like a sum formula based on the cell.
Based on the color. So when you change the color, it changes the number.
Yeah, I have to like hit something to make it refresh the formula. It doesn't
Okay.
automatically do it.
Okay.
Of all the teams, or I mean, of all the players,
Ooh, wow. Elliott is very highly owned. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
he's our second biggest negative leverage. He's 28% owned. We only have 12%. We have 16 percentage points under the field. But we have him in 9 lineups. Our highest of any kicker was 10. Like that, we just are flat at kicker. He's one of our highest owned kickers, but the field is a lot more concentrated at kicker.
The soft fades are super difficult to figure out because like last year we had so many good scores, like not good scores, amazing scores from losing teams. This year, is there losing, like I think the best losing kicker is Mar, but Puka scored 32. Which is like makes Mar a worse play than, you know, Riley Patterson scoring 2 against Njoku's 19. Like and then the defenses, it's like, I mean, Houston DST, it was like when they went off, it was like, oh, maybe they can win in 2 games. And now it's like they could really be live in 2 games, the Houston DST.
Yeah, because there's no other good
for sure.
DST.
Like, do any of the DSTs that lost have 4 points? I mean, it's crazy. You think
How much
decent
DST do we have?
sacks or something?
So that just for people who aren't quite following or whatever, the confusing thing here is that even though the Cowboys and Rams lost, it's very likely that Puka and Ferguson will be in the optimal, which means
Well, it's very likely Puka will be. Oh, the optimal. Yes.
Yeah. And which means that a kicker and defense score is going to have to come from one of these other losing teams. And yet you go through them and none of them have a really decent score to get there.
Is it possible Aubrey? How many points did Aubrey have?
Oh, Aubrey's for sure live because if as long as you can, you know, beat as long as the Ferguson teams like have issues, like Aubrey versus CD's fine. Like that's like, he's definitely.
A couple of years ago, I don't know if you guys remember this, or you definitely will, because we named the tab like, I think Leone named the tab Ben's fucking tab or something like that because I wanted my little tab. Do you remember this where I was like putting in the actuals of all the scores? I wish I had that to pull up for this because it makes it easier to talk through to show like your point about the kicker versus the best skill position teammate or whatever, right? Like if I would have, I didn't track all this, but if we had tracked all of the players so far who have, you know, how many points they've scored, you can look at by position, how Houston's D is so much higher scoring than the other Ds. You can look at it by team, what they're up against. Houston, the one thing on Houston's D is they are up against some high-scoring skill position players, right? I mean, Nico plus Singletary and Schultz both had decent games.
Yeah, but it's like right now at least, Houston. I mean, they scored 20, so like Nico scored what 22. Like so, that's better than the Cleveland defense by a margin right now. You know, like, but the problem is there's another game. They're not a lock. They're just super live, I guess.
Right.
I can't stop looking at this. Elliott just boosted the Jaden Reed team up to 60th. It would be like 10 points clear of every other team.
Oh,
it's insane, dude. It's so nuts. Like it's kind of live, and it's like almost.
We
like
need to keep rooting for it.
Yeah, it's alive, dude. I think it might be our best team because like Jaden Reed gets another game, like
right,
and they get some 49ers to have to throw a lot.
And I'll bet you it's the highest scoring Jaden Reed team. I'll bet you if Jaden Reed gets us some points, it's all gravy from here.
It got to be because it's the fucking nuts. Yeah. Except for Jaden Reed.
We want an upset, right? We need Reed to keep going. We got to get him to the Super Bowl, get this 2x leverage.
Super Bowl one time.
Jaden Reed, yes.
Oh, man. What's 2 times 0, Leon?
If he scored like 20 points and Aaron Jones scored like 8, like you'd be like,
oh, yeah.
Like you'd be like, wow, we only lost like
20
points to Aaron Jones instead of 33.
Right.
And
we have everything else.
Holy cow, this Eagles defense is so
how far
bad.
is it behind first?
Right now it is 23 points behind first, and it's if Tampa Bay wins, we nailed the fades.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, it has Baltimore faded too, right?
Has Baltimore faded? I mean, that's a big
Baltimore defense would be a big one. We need Baltimore to lose, but that's kind of one where we like.
Point. Yeah,
we thought that would be live in 2, and now it's definitely live in 2. The way things are looking.
Yeah,
it's an Allen team. We need Buffalo to the Super Bowl, and then Baltimore's D could be okay.
Right,
dude. Could Allen get there in 2 games?
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, Allen could get there in 2 games.
Like, because Diggs did crap. Didn't we have a good Kincaid team though, or somewhere?
We have a good Kincaid team. Yeah.
Allen can get there in 2 games if Lamar doesn't play in the Super Bowl and get the 2x in his third game. You would need Mahomes to then be the Super Bowl QB probably.
The Kincaid team is a Fairbairn team where it looked like that was dead, but he's kind of like not totally dead now.
Yeah, Kincaid, Lamar, Aaron Jones, Puka, Amon-Ra, Pacheco, and Njoku.
Kincaid, Devonta Smith, Tampa Bay D, Fairbairn.
Tampa Bay D. So that one needs
a
the
Philly win.
I think we feels like we're probably fairly even on this game. We probably prefer Tampa Bay, but we could live with an Eagles win.
Yeah, I think
I'm telling you right now,
our guys doing well, right? Like,
there's no reality where the Eagles win this game. I'm not even worried about a mush. They look like such trash. They just couldn't catch. I mean, they're playing so bad.
This. We might need to clip this later.
Timestamp it.
I'm not even worried about a mush.
Sometimes you're worried about it when it comes out. You're like, oh well, no.
Like I shouldn't have said that.
They failed to get a third down. This much immediately taking hold.
No, I mean, you don't worry about it when you got fucking Chase McLaughlin's big dong of a leg ready to drill a 57-yarder.
Do we have a good McLaughlin team? We have a lot of McLaughlin.
It was the kicker game.
Oh man, there's a couple ones that are just 100% hindsight stuff where you're like, wish we didn't press this Cooper Cup leverage.
I know. Yeah.
Like should have just played the same amount of him and Puka. Because most of them we kind of did that where we're like the leverage will fall,
right
where it does. But that was one where we
all liked Puka. We all liked Cooper Cup a lot.
Low, like let's play more than we would.
Right,
which I think you got to push some stuff for sure.
The annoying part of that is like the Aaron Jones thing. I feel like was sort of similar, and it's like that one paid off. Where
right,
Yeah, except we kind of did it times 2 with Reed.
Yeah.
we played.
Did we play more Reed than Aaron Jones?
No, we played more
No.
Aaron Jones, but it was close-ish.
We should have had the Jones over Reed gap larger and the Nakua gap narrower.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's just
we're
kind of
only
the
saying
two
that because
spots
of
where
how
we
many
did it.
points they each scored.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Exactly.
process.
That's sort of my point. Right.
The reason is because of how it happened.
Yeah.
We should
Don't
have
have any process reasons.
full faded Kyron Williams.
Right. Like that was sort of my point. Is like the cup thing didn't pan out, but it could have. Right.
could have.
Like
No, I like the cup play a lot. I'm not.
Although,
just,
man,
there were like
Cup-
2 spots where we like went even further than like what we would have had we not known the ownership. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
and the 2 spots were kind of like Reed and Cup. And
Does
then a
Cup
lot of the
go
other stuff was we
before-
just
next year in ADP is Cup before or after the 312?
It's a pretty
I
good
think
line.
he's around there. Yeah, I think
Good
he's
line.
around that. I like that.
it's a very good line.
I was thinking about it today, like the other day, and I was like, he's not going to fall out of the top 5 rounds, but he's not going to be in the first couple.
Right.
No,
you
I
know.
mean that's where Amari was going last year, which sounds about right for him.
He's got too much potential to fall past that group, like where Amari was going last year, where Terry McLaurin. Like we were talking about, how the 5th round was not that great. Like I think he goes at least. It might be. I think I would take later than the 312. I think he goes in the 4th.
Okay.
But I don't think. I think I would take earlier than the 412 if you asked me the 412.
It depends
would
too a little
definitely
bit
take
if
the
the
412.
field does. The wide receiver ADPs got kind of crazy last year. I don't know if those settle back, but like, I mean, Amari Cooper
don't know
and
that they
Jerry
will.
Jeudy were going. Like, he's probably a better pick than like. I feel like Cooper and Jeudy and those guys were.
I mean,
Won't he be viewed a little bit like DeAndre Hopkins was? And wasn't he going right around 312?
He went around.
Pat was trying to get him to go there.
Pat was like late second.
I think he would be. Oh man!
Oh my God, Chase McLaughlin's
crushed
kicking
it.
another bomb. Did he make
He's
it?
crushing it. Yeah.
dude.
Absolute rocket for my dude.
Just not
Dong,
again.
I got it again.
I gotta find a good Chase McLaughlin team for the vibes. There's gotta be one.
Have I ever told you guys the story of when my
Oh, God.
my wife went out riding around golfing with me? Like we just dropped the kids off at my mom's, and she just wanted to go like have a couple beers. She's not a big like sports person, but I like told her to hit a couple with my driver. But like when I'm out driving with her, we went on like an evening. And it was this empty course. And so like when I'm like hitting them good, I'm just like under my breath, like, oh, I nutted on that one, right? And she's like, why do guys always say like make it so sexual, So then she goes and she hits one finally. And she like crushed it. She hit it good. She goes, boom, I spermed on that one.
It just doesn't have the same ring to it.
So good.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys see the Maurice Jones-Drew clip?
No.
Yes. I
Yeah.
did.
So his co-host or whatever on the show, it was just like talking, and he's like, "But I think you just got to ride that D." And Maurice Jones-Drew did like this double take, and like the cameraman absolutely crushed it because he did a close zoom in on. So like the first reaction was like the wide shot, like Maurice Jones-Drew kind of was like, "What did you just say?" And then he zooms in, and Maurice Jones-Drew goes. It just does this head turn with this big, like, skeptical smile, and it was just so fucking good.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I should just pull it up here on the.
Yeah, just pull it up.
Here we go. All right.
I love that we have a team named Tua Freeze. What's that?
Ooh.
That's the team we built with Hassan,
Watch this, Pat.
the player.
The best defense that Patrick Mahomes has had, right? I mean, is it possible that they can ride the D? The defense? This is far and away the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has had, right? I mean, is it possible that they can ride the D? Listen, this is far and away the best defense.
He's getting asked a question.
I mean, is it possible that they could ride the D?
So good. So good.
It's like a movie. The cameraman just nailed
Chris.
it.
Chris.
When he closes his eyes.
Chris. Relax, buddy. Chris. We're trying to be professionals here.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so good.
One more time.
Listen, this is far and away the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has had. Right? I mean, is it possible that they could ride the D? The defense? Listen, this is far and away the best defense that
The
Patrick
best
Mahomes has had.
is if you really watch it, it's like Maurice Jones-Drew thinks he's making a joke, and he's like, "Come on, man!" Like he's trying to make it seem like he's the immature one.
I mean, is it possible that they could ride the D? This is far and away the best.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Yo, we need Devonta Smith to rock out. I think.
Yes.
That'd be really
Yeah.
good for us.
Yeah.
He
Like,
almost
whether
took
they
that one
win
in the
or
house.
lose.
Oh man,
Him and Godwin, we need for the let's say portfolio in general, and then
yeah.
our Chain Reed team is Elliott and Rashad White.
Dude, I can't believe Jake Ferguson scored 42.3 points. What the
People
fuck?
do forget FFPC is tight in preview.
42.3? Anything can happen.
Dude,
Like,
what
literally-
would you have said if we said, "Hey, CeeDee Lamb's going to get 17 targets"? How much Jake Ferguson do you want to play?
I would have
Zero.
said 0. I would have said make sure we get 100% CD
Don't play
Lamb.
a single. We would have literally just X'd out the two we have.
And now Lamb is maybe the 4th best play on his team,
It's insane.
behind Aubrey Pollard and Ferguson.
Think about the portfolio you could have built just knowing that one single bit of information of the 4 Cowboys scores.
We could have won the contest.
Well, honestly,
That's
I
all
don't
it's
know
doing.
because I bet you
Yeah.
fade the Packers a lot because you think, the you see Dak.
If in this
score too.
hypothetical, there's a limit to
If you
only
know he
knowing
scores
the fantasy points.
42, yeah, if you just know he scores 42, you probably don't think that they lose.
But you
There's
maybe
no
play
way
that-
you think they lose. Yeah.
right?
But you could
It had
still play
some
that as a
errors.
shootout. If
Yeah.
if someone's scoring 42,
You
you're
could.
probably like, yeah.
Yeah,
Guys, how did Jaden Reed goose egg? They scored 48 points.
I don't know, man.
So bad.
Yeah, honestly, we end up with way more Reed. That's one of the things.
That's the guy we end up with more of. We get 75 Ferguson Reed.
For sure. For sure. Oh, man.
That is actually funny to think about how you would ultimately misuse it and probably make a worse portfolio.
Yeah, when Wicks caught that TD, I thought it was Reed for a second.
Oh, I said before you hopped on, I thought every Dubs catch was Reed for a split second.
Dude, he looked like he was balling too. Like Dobbs was like, I mean, it seemed like he was making good plays. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Dobbs played great. He doesn't play like that ever. I was legit shocked. That guy was frustrating to watch play football this season. I wrote about it in Signal some. He had more drops on easy plays, bobbles on the sideline that then got reviewed and got taken away. So many points left on the board from just concentration lapses and stuff. And then he was just making sick plays that whole game. I was like, okay, well, this is when I made a fucking highlight reel of you last year. This is what I thought you were.
Yeah, he went off, man. That was.
He was-
We do
he was
famously
solid.
have a Romeo Dobbs clip.
That's right.
famously.
Everyone knows that. It's very famous.
Dude, David Bell had 8 catches.
Yeah.
I was joking with Dinker because we had him in DFS, and at one point he was 3 for 15. I was like, dude, just 10 more 5-yard catches, and then he had 6 more 5-yard catches. I think he eventually had one that of some distance. Oh,
So it looks like
I
Julio
really
Jones.
missed this Philly. I really.
Oh, Boom. That's big.
Damn,
Didn't
get
get in.
in the zone.
What
It's a big
happened?
play.
Devonta
Devonta
Huge
Smith.
Devontae catch.
down to the
Probably
5 or
what,
something.
50 yarder?
Yeah.
God, why didn't he just
56.
score, guys?
I mean, he's
so
got
skinny.
2 defenders draped on him.
I'm so,
Oh, other
Yeah, that's
40
worth
yard line.
that's worth 2 Ferguson catches. Keep getting
That was a 55-yard, 3 for 98, Pete. I think we have our answer on whether we should have played catches or yards.
He's
averaging-
going to get there on the catches.
Yeah, I think so too.
Goddard
Oh,
touchdown.
we got the Goddard TD.
Oh, the spice.
There it is.
Let's go.
There it
Spice.
is.
Spice
huge.
is nice.
That's the hardest thing in the 5.
dude, this is good. This is
Yeah.
good. Good stuff.
That's our
We're-
3
good
tight
for us,
end team
right? That
too.
keeps a lot
Is
of
our
lineups
3 tight
alive.
end team live, Leonie?
The 3 tight end team, I'll check, but I think that's good. We're overweight Hurts, we're overweight Goddard, we're overweight Devonta, like keeps them alive.
Good. The 3 tight end team had Goddard. I remembered. I don't remember what it had.
Yeah, it definitely had Goddard. It was, dude. I almost like I don't know what I want
Yeah,
to
his
happen
Goddard,
with this,
his Lamb. The
it's
problem with the
42.
3 tight end team is it has Badgley. So we missed that phase.
Oh, that's where it's fucked.
Badgley, but he's not dead because he had like an okay score, and Amon-Ra and Gibbs weren't crazy, and I
Yeah.
mean it's not good, but
Yeah.
No.
we need
It
Goddard.
also has
We-
Diggs, which don't you don't hate, but you don't love. It's a
No,
little
you don't
Lamar
love
team.
right now. But
What
it's
does
a
it have
Lamar
that's good?
team. It's
Does
a
it have
Lamar
anything
team.
good? Does it have like Rashee Rice?
Aaron
got-
Jones, Puka, Kelsey, Njoku, Houston D. So it also has Houston D. Yeah.
Miami
So it's
full fade, pit full fade. It hasn't really messed up, and Puka's obviously quite big.
Well, both the kicker
is
and D
Aaron
advanced, which isn't great.
but it has Puka and Aaron Jones.
Right.
It does not have Ferguson though.
Dude, Houston
Doesn't have
DST, honestly, with like they've got to be close to like favorites. To be
Wow.
still.
Bucks went offsides on the extra point. Eagles took the penalty and went for 2. We're going to get a Hurts rushing 2. Oh, I think he got stopped.
I think you got
Man,
it.
I don't
Oh,
think he
they're not
got
gonna
in.
give it-
Push got stopped. I've
So,
never
no.
seen that happen.
Man,
No Elliott extra point.
not great. For
No
the Kelly
Hurts
effect.
2-point conversion.
Mm.
Not exactly a perfect sequence there.
Okay, that's okay. He keeps now it's 16-16 with score dynamics. Good.
Oh yeah, he
It's
didn't
good.
even get close.
Everyone break out tape. How to stop the tush push. I always call it the push tush. It's just so bad. I don't know why. Not on purpose.
It's not that bad. It's just a little mess up.
But I do it a lot.
A lot of us have been silently judging you for that mistake.
Everyone has been thinking it.
I'm glad we can
This
finally talk about it.
team, our highest scoring team is team 20, but it's a Justin Tucker KC defense team, so it feels pretty good.
Josh Allen will love to turn the ball over a few times next week.
Yeah, he throws a pick 6 and they win, and then they shut down the KC passing game.
Oh yeah.
And Nico
works.
Collins erupts in a Houston upset. There's a path.
That works. I think that Liam team's going to win the gauntlet if that happens, though. I don't know about that.
Ooh,
It
might
really
not.
has Nico Collins on that team.
That-
They keep
that-
sharing.
That poses a really good question. If you guys knew that we could finish, say, 3rd but not win, but also it meant that Liam would win the gauntlet.
What's the payout?
It's gotta
Yeah,
do
we
that.
got to put a figure to this.
Yeah, I need to figure out what the payout
FFPC
is.
payout structure is probably
It's
like
pretty steep, so I'm
$2,000.
leaning no.
I'm leaning no.
Let me
It
pull
would
up
have
the
to be
payout.
first or no deal.
I mean,
I bet we could
second-
kind of crowdsource, like do a GoFundMe to cover the rest of it.
53rd place is 50,000. Split? No, yeah, we're not.
Yeah, no
You know,
way.
we can't have
No way. It's a hard no.
Second,
second becomes
Second.
a conversation.
Second,
yeah,
I think.
second's like the correct line.
Second, you just unfollow, mute, and block and I think he probably
You mute and block.
Mute him.
I think second's pretty good. I would do second. Yeah. I'm gonna the podcast appearances this summer are gonna be a little harder, but I'll do them.
I just can't with the incoming YouTube SEO titles. Draft now with the Gauntlet champ.
I don't want it at this point. I want us. I mean, to be clear, we finished second in this scenario. That's an important part of this, but I'm down.
Leone, would you put that in your
deal.
Twitter bio? Second place FFPC playoff contest 2023/24.
In exchange for Liam winning the gauntlet.
All right, guys. Team 28. Team 28 looks live too.
What is it?
It's got Amari, but it's Allen, CMC, Gibbs, Amari, CD, Goddard, Nico, Tyreek, Puka, Rashee Rice, Justin Tucker, Tampa Bay defense.
Another fade of if Nico has a big game and a win over Baltimore, you get Tucker. Another fade of Baltimore.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one doesn't have Aaron Jones, and it's got Green Bay faded.
Oh yeah, so that's a problem.
I don't think that one's very live.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any Green Bay players. Wow.
I got bamboozled by the current scoring.
Hoodwinked, bamboozled.
We have three teams that are just so far ahead of other teams. Dude, I'm talking myself into all sorts of teams.
Good.
That's
wait. So what should Allen be colored? Is he a green?
Allen's green, for sure a green. So like green's like, I don't know. I probably need a good, but not like for sure the nuts and this is the nuts color. Right now I kind of just have green. And then yellow is like very neutral. Orange is like slightly bad, and red is like bad.
You need like a blue for like the pure nuts. Like because
like
you have
Ferguson's
red
blue.
Yeah, Ferguson's blue.
There you go.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones probably blue.
Can I do that? Can I change it to? Why didn't you do this conditional formatting? By the way, are you going through and changing every guy's name?
I'm doing what needs to be done.
You're individually coloring every cell in the spreadsheet?
Well, you just filter like RB Aaron Jones, and then you just make the whole column.
Wow. We got an Excel showdown right now.
I mean, Pat's right. Pat's right, but it's
like I'm not going to argue.
He only gets like a sick pleasure out of manually doing it. He didn't even want to think through it in a more efficient way because he just loves clicking each individual button.
How do you filter the rows? I don't even know how to do that.
No, you filter the column. So I filter the RB column to just Aaron Jones, and then I just make that whole column green. But then
it's a row, or it's an RB row.
Oh, I'm using dude. There's a tab where these are transposed. Come on.
Oh, bro, he just transposed your ass.
Go to the transpose tab. It'll change your life.
Wow, I had no idea about the transpose tab.
And then I'm copying from the transpose tab and pasting transpose back to the original teams tab to get the coloring there.
Oh, wow. That you could just conditional format this and make your life so much easier.
I like the system.
How did you make it this far in the Olympics?
I like the system.
You like going through and looking at the teams and getting excited. Oh my god.
If I'm gonna be heartbroken every year, I'm gonna make sure that I maximize that.
Wow. I think we need a blue Leone,
guys.
Our buddy Tyler Beaker is in 5th overall right now in this thing.
Oh baby, let's see what that team.
Did he fall asleep and auto draft that one too?
I know. Famously auto drafted a main event team against us a couple years ago.
He finished better than us.
that outdid us.
That outperformed our team.
Dude, does Wow, he's got a double fade in this game. He's got McLaughlin and no Philly player.
Ryan goes,
I'm a-
Pat didn't know about the transformed.
Transformers.
I didn't know about it.
Dude, yeah, he's he's got like this
said
double fade that could work.
Transposed.
Transposed.
Transposed, Ryan.
Transposed, yeah.
Transformers, Google.
You didn't know about Megatron? That's the only Transformer I know. Who are the other Transformers?
Optimus Prime, I think.
That's right, Optimus Prime. I knew there was another one I knew. And there's a bad guy, right?
Oh! Man, that was Godwin there.
Godwin,
God damn.
jump.
Wow.
Take a hit.
That would have been big.
Oh my god, that would have been pants off.
That would have been run into the transpose tab. Oh my God,
Dude, there's every game there's this internal battle myself of like, at what point can I color a guy green? Like, I don't,
Were you, be honest, were you at the game and when Josh Allen rushed that touchdown in, you're like, green?
Were you yelling?
in my I was yelling optimal in two. Optimal in two.
Man, these Bucks pass catchers are really, I mean, Baker should have 400 passing yards by now.
Hey, give David more respect, the respect he deserves, please.
He's their best wide receiver right now.
I
Let's
like
just get
the
Chase into field goal range.
Tuttle's tweet about Trey Palmer. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
No.
Back tested it for angry Trey Palmer tweets equal touchdowns.
Yeah.
80% hit rate.
What I'm afraid to do is see if there's any like Ferguson teams that like basically can't be beat. But it needs to be done at some point.
Yeah.
Leone, how much time would you waste if there was like a exportable CSV of all the contest entries?
I think we got that.
Oh, we do?
I think we probably did. Mojo probably has that, right?
So someone had a sheet with the ownership and all the teams because
Every
Sam
team?
W looked at all the dupe stuff, and we only duped 4 times. One of which was a team we made on stream, and one of which was a team Pat entered with.
Well, no, that's the same team.
It's the same team.
Oh, the stream team.
The stream team
Yes.
was the one I entered.
Oh, so the other 3 were legitimate dupes then. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought we had that one and then another one that you had made. Gotcha.
No, basically what we did is we just created a loophole to where if that team wins, we've cut you out of half of the winnings.
That was the goal.
Dude, I'm just looking through, randomly clicking on teams manually. Don't see a lot of Ferguson up there. I mean, if Gene and Reed can just please do his thing next week.
I think the saving grace is if you were someone galaxy braining Jake Ferguson, you were probably galaxy braining some other shit too.
Chase McLaughlin already has 14.2 points.
Dude, McLaughlin is, if Tampa Bay loses the game, he is for sure the nuts kicker.
Yeah.
Dude, this
Do we
just
want that or
holding his
not?
Face mask?
I don't think we want it. He's not on any of our good teams.
Yeah, we want Tampa to win, I think, pretty bad.
I think we want Tampa to win and Devonta and Goddard to do their thing.
More shit to come from the Eagles for sure.
It's
yeah.
tough. We have a good Hurts team that like if they made a run would be lost.
Oh,
my
that would have
God.
been great. He fumbled the punt. The Bucks could have just got like a free touchdown before half. Forced the Eagles to throw a lot in the second half. Helps the Bucks. Helps the game script. That was close.
We have what's the Hurts team that's good? Pat?
There's no such thing as a Hurts team that's good.
Let me try.
I think it's this one where we soft faded Green Bay, but we think it could survive just because.
That's it. That's the one.
like if Hurts goes to the Super Bowl, there's going to be like just so few Hurts teams.
Right.
Jason Sanders, 1
And
point.
it has Puka and it has Pacheco and Njoku.
It's got Mike Evans, so he probably would need to do something. Did he drop something early? I saw somebody tilting.
Yeah.
Did he mess up a play early?
Yeah.
Oh, Philly's got time here. I don't know what we're rooting for, really. I think points are just good to try and maybe get McLaughlin to not be like unfadable. Not that he'd be unfadable, but right now he's straight up the highest scorer on Tampa Bay.
That's crazy.
Higher than David Moore?
I guess more
That in your
is
pipe and smoke it.
no. I mean, it's like decimal points apart. The two of them.
What was David Moore's ownership?
And I keep waiting for Diggs to like have one of these huge games, and it just keeps not happening.
Do you ever get the feeling that Dink kind of just wants to abandon his post as an NBA thought leader to full-time sweat FFPC playoff contest lineups?
Yeah, I think he wants to be a coxswain. Full time.
I need Mauricio Drew right now.
Our McLaughlin lineups suck.
Yeah.
How
Like they're not even
how
okay.
So we this McLaughlin stuff's bad.
All right.
So by that measure, we kind of want Tampa Bay to win to make it
Right.
less
We want Tampa Bay to win, I think, just to neutralize that.
and then have Goddard and Devonta do well.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be funkier than most years. I think more stuff is going to be live after the first weekend than most years because the fade stuff is not cut and dry anywhere.
Yep.
Which I don't know if that's good for us or not. I mean, it's good for us from a sweat perspective, but from an actual us winning perspective, I don't know. Just because people who don't really play brackets well are like more live this year than they've ever been.
Oh, because the soft fades aren't going to kill him.
Yeah.
Right. And it'd be, I mean, there's teams that if you saw faded, you're probably looking really bad on. Like, I guess Green Bay was a popular one, but there's so many combinations of soft fades that are like live right now still. Like the Houston DST or like McLaughlin would be live if they went. I mean, hell, even our Badgley's like not totally dead.
Yeah, it's a weird year where you definitely cared more about getting the right answer on the eliminated team in terms of the skill player than you did about correctly fading the teams that lost.
Yeah. Which is probably like not ideal overall, but it's what it is. Because the market's so overconfident in those soft fades that it's like.
All right, I did my stupid little tab during this show.
Oh yeah.
What's
Is
it
it
called?
in our sheet?
Ben's
We call Ben's fucking tab.
I took out the effort. I don't know if that's actually what it was. That's
Are you manually entering?
Are
these
you
point totals?
transposing over there, bro?
I manually did it, man, while recording the show.
Oh, that's Devonta.
And then are you manually
There you go.
highlighting the ones that are the highest on the team?
Yeah,
sure.
Here, Pete, will you pull that up?
Yeah, you got it. Oh, there it is.
So the main thing is I could sort by team, but like one of the things is like by position, like you can see. So the red ones are the teams that lost. Oh, I missed.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't have every team in here because some of the teams that like we didn't even play, we didn't have in our other tab. So like whatever team, Kansas City, or no, they Dallas. We didn't play any Dallas TST, right? Because like we didn't expect them to lose. Really, we weren't fading them. But anyway, this shows
Ferguson
how
was kind of our fade play instead of actually getting them, which was good.
So like at tight end, you can see Ferguson as a loser is just like so dominant, and Njoku's fine, but these guys that have all scored well at tight end have more games. It doesn't matter because Ferguson can be the flex, obviously. The kicker thing that Leone was talking about, like Maher, but then you go to the Rams, right? And Maher's the one that scored, but he has I have Buffalo also showing there. Whoops. He has Nakua just absolutely like vital, and this gap is so large. So if it's not Nakua, then you go to like other kickers. I mean, if it's not Maher, like none of the other kickers that lost have even scored more than 6. Boswell's 6 was like earlier today was like good. Someone in this game is
and it's like how many points? Like Boswell Miami fade is better probably than Sanders
Pittsburgh
fade, but like not by a lot.
Not by a lot, by literally 5 points, because you're talking about a fade on the other end of that 2v2.
Yeah, and like
and these kickers that are going for 2 games, they're not going to be optimal because you have like Butker scored the most kicker points, but then you go over to KC and you have 27 for Rashee Rice already, and you also have Kelsey and Pacheco in viable ranges.
Yeah, but what's interesting is like Butker's only down like 13 to Rice, as opposed to like Mars down, 21, 22 to Puka. I mean, he's definitely not going to be optimal, but he's not.
This was the other one. You were talking about Badgley, 8.4. The other 3 didn't really like smash to such a degree that, I mean, if Detroit kind of got beat pretty bad and Badgley made a couple field goals, like it could be somewhat close here, right?
Dude, why isn't Philly running up to run a Hail Mary?
Here's Jade Reed versus Aaron Jones. Slightly frustrating.
Oh
Jesus.
My God.
Tyreek only got 17.
Like Tyreek's fine, but
he's fine. But compared to some of the other losers, like Nakua, you get 32. And
I know the chat is going nuts that apparently it's Brett Maher, not Maher.
Oh.
I'm
going to say Maher as much as I possibly can from now on.
Like Tyreek versus Njoku is like kind of tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as these losing teams, you want 2 off losing teams. Like Ferguson and Nakua would be the nuts pairing so far for the losing teams. They smash, right?
Yeah, you've got that with Jaden Raiden. They're looking good.
So you guys want to build? I mean, there's some juicy stuff in the pick'em right now.
Oh yeah. Let's do some pick'ems. Dump me off.
So Godwin needs 21 yards. His prop is set at 29.5. Mike Evans is set at 45.5.
Oh,
yeah, let's take
over.
Why aren't we taking? Yeah, let's do that.
Take both of us.
That's what I'm flagging.
And then
just take the Baker.
Yep. Take Baker for 100 yards. Yep.
At that point.
Yep. And then what do we take on the where's like Devonta at, on the bring back?
Devonta needs
that's a lot.
40.
Yeah.
Wow, he's at 111. Goddard
expired.
I do kind of like the Gainwell receiving. He's at 9.
Yeah, he's already at 9, and they're trailing. He just needs 6 receiving yards and a trail script.
I like go lower on Swift rush yards. And
you think 43.5? He's at 16 now. You like that?
I don't know how.
Where are the kicking points at? Because they're already like. Sometimes I feel like the kicking points get. Do we not have them?
No, there's no kicking points up.
Wait,
now.
David Moore. Can we just get him to do one more catch?
One more catch. It's literally either a catch or a receiving yard, either of them.
I mean, there's no reason to take receiving yards. That'd be so stupid.
My brain was like, it's only 1.5 receiving yards. Let's go for that.
Yeah.
You're right. That would be the dumbest thing.
Catches, but you can't do the opposite.
So stupid.
All right, I'll lock this one in.
I literally was thinking that was a good decision somewhere in my brain.
What's up,
Oh,
Kyle?
Right as you
dog.
said. What's
Yo,
up, Kyle?
how's it going?
You know, we're just building some pick'ems here.
We're remembering how stats work. You know, fun things.
I got some
Anything
cells
else?
that need colored in.
Do you guys want to do a smaller version of this
Yeah.
that just includes Gainwell and then that like maybe just like Evans and Godwin?
Yeah.
Since we like those.
If you're gonna do that, you gotta do Baker.
I
Right?
mean, it's literally like 30 yards, 40 yards for those two to get there alone.
and Baker only needs 100.
25. It's 50.
You do your thing.
Just let me cook.
Okay.
We already have the other one locked in, Leone.
And
know,
there's
I
Want me
a-
to make the same bet twice?
Yeah.
There's a correlation
Yeah.
doc on that, right? So I like it. There was no correlation doc on that one.
All right, guys. I'm gonna peace out.
All right.
Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the
Great chatting with
screenshots
you, Mike.
coming.
Good luck. Good luck to us.
Good luck to us.
Did you say great chatting with you, Leone?
I had a great time.
2 ships passing in the sea. You have big sweat shoes to fill because Leone has made it his life's goal to sweat this FFPC contest. Are you sweating your playoff action as hard as he is?
No, because it's like a ton of teams in which like I have no clue what I need. Like honestly, what I needed was the teams to advance to also have scored the most points, and that shit didn't happen.
Do we want that? Because there's going to be pods in round 2 in these playoff best ball contests where it's like
Brother.
literally just you show up. Like I don't even know if I'll have that many sweats next week. Even if I have like 40 teams or whatever, it's like there's nothing to sweat.
Yep, you're going to know or not because all the teams that advanced sucked. And all the teams that somehow advanced without that are going to be facing the teams that advanced that sucked. Like
Exactly.
there are so many teams that will show up with Jake Ferguson and CD Lamb and Tony Pollard and Dak Prescott. Puka, exactly. And like you will either know 100% the moment you show up, like, oh, I have Jawan Jennings. I'm beating Puka 100%. That sounds really dumb, and you are 100% correct. And that, like, Pat, you said this in our Discord. You're like, oh man, it's gonna be all the teams with Jawan Jennings that are advancing from round 2 to 3. And I'm like, God damn, I hope so, because I have a lot of this fella.
Yeah. Just
dude, I hope
fist pumping a single Eli Mitchell carry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Did
dude.
it.
You guys are getting me really excited about this fucking one mitten. I drafted 2 teams. Like I don't have a million teams like you guys because I only drafted 2 teams on a quick vacation, Kyle. But you get me really excited
all
because
have
it has
the
10
same
live
amount now.
players.
Yeah.
It's got 10 live players, a bunch of Niners, and is 15 points up right now. It's gonna hopefully advance unless something shitty happens.
I mean, that's like the whole goal at this point is like you get a team that advances with live players. And as you know, we talked about with Pat in Discord, it doesn't matter how good they are because so many teams are going to advance.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be a really weird year in that so many teams are going to advance with dead players. And so many teams, unfortunately, like my teams are going to be left behind with the live players. Like the live players didn't score as much as I nearly thought they would.
Well, look at this. This was the one we drafted on stream, the big mitten one. It's a Dak, Pollard, Lamb, Cooks, Ferguson. But in this structure,
Literally all the players I named.
Justice Hill, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Mike Evans, Rashad White. Like it might be able to sneak through a 4
without a QB. Wow.
Heavy.
If we get a Ravens Bucks Super Bowl, we're live.
I mean, we got to get there first.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Hell no, you're not.
You think there'd be other? I mean, it depends how the Bucks score.
Another
It's a
team.
6-person final, Kyle.
I still don't think you're live. I think
we'd be very live.
You don't think there are going to be so many
It's the
teams with
Bucks.
Lamar or Baker? Lamar,
There's not
specifically
that many
Lamar.
teams with Lamar that are going to get through the first round.
I would bet 50-50 that you're not live to win. Like, yeah, I'd take 50-50 that you're not live to win if you advance one more round.
I think if we get the Bucks to the Super Bowl, I think we're live to win because we're going to have pieces there that most people won't have.
I still think there will probably just be teams that got like weird advanced teams with no Bucks, but they advanced Lamar, Zay, Mark Andrews, Justice Hill, or whatever. They advanced.
There's not that many teams.
I think one of them makes it to the final. I get it's like a small final. I still think one team makes it with Lamar and you're done. Like Lamar outscores your whole team is the thing.
Put some respect on Justice Hill's name, but
Kyle can't even let me dream on this fucking Bucks Super Bowl.
just let us
happen.
dream, man.
no, dude. There's gonna be another team there that's better. Like what? Really? It's not
Really,
happening. None of this is happening.
We do
Sorry,
have,
Pat.
yeah, God.
I apologize.
Yeah, it looks like our other Mastiff team. It's not looking good.
No.
Well,
Sorry.
the one's gonna advance. Another one's gonna advance, but it's in a similar spot. Another fucking DAC team with Let me pull it up. Whatever.
The
Dak- this
Falcons
one's
interviewed Bill Belichick as of 5 minutes ago. That's fun.
Mm.
There's
I mean, Arthur Belichick is definitely his taste. Like going from Arthur Smith to Bill Belichick seems right up Arthur's alley.
Yeah.
I only have
Does
one
anyone?
good-
I'm tapped out. I'm gonna fire at the battle royales and stuff. I can't do any more playoff basketball content. I'm waving the white flag.
I don't know.
I did a little.
Sack was saying that basically like the meta is when they release ADPs reflect the previous tournament's ADPs, which means that Ravens and 49ers are massively undervalued in ADP. So the first like hour or whatever, I don't know what the time.
Yeah, but that was yesterday.
So that the point I'm making is like, oh, all the good ADPs are gone. Let someone else draft. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I'm not. I did. I was in there with Chris G. We fought each other to the death over the 49ers. We each ended up with terrible teams because he didn't have a quarterback and I didn't have any fucking 49ers with Purdy. And I was like, great, this sucks. It's good night.
Did you take Jawan Jennings in the 5th?
Yeah, probably.
It's so funny when you do so many of those drafts where like you start to have like a legit psychological bias to where you think Jawan Jennings is way better than he actually is because you
100%.
selected him like 90 times. You're like, holy fuck, yeah, Jennings is here. This is clean. Like, and then you remember who Jawan Jennings is.
It's so true.
Juwan Jennings.
I mean, 100%. I did that with Justin Watson every time. Justin Watson, there late in the draft, I'm like, he runs 60% routes. He's caught a pass in 2 of 10 of his past games. Oh my god, Justin Watson.
2 of 10.
It's something horrible. Like he is not.
And then you talk yourself into Richie James because the one thing he has going for him is his name isn't Justin Watson, who you've clicked a billion times.
So
I have one good Big Minton team of 13, I think. 12. I did 12. I have a dead DAC team in this Big Minton team. I have a lot of teams like this. I think I'm, for my own personal portfolio, I'm really rooting for the Chiefs next week.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
You want to pull it up, Pete?
Oh, sorry. The way I have like my screen, I have like half the game browser covering up the hopper. So that's why Kyle's like, let me in. I didn't even see that he was down here or all the links here. Sorry.
So I have a lot of teams like this. So like Mahomes, McCaffrey, Pacheco, the Chiefs, and then like I did the advanced rate thing, which worked with Ferguson. And then it's all just Chiefs.
You were thinking Dallas was going to get beat. They were just an advanced rate team.
Yeah, just in advance. I mean, honestly, they were advanced rate, right? But they're to get through the first round. But then you think, and they're not going to play San Francisco in the next round, so they're going to help me in the next round. And then in the third
brother,
round,
were they not going to play San Francisco?
Yeah, they're not playing San Francisco.
Yeah, but I have a ton of teams that look a lot like this. Go Chiefs,
I'm
yes.
picturing
Pat, you and me are going to be battling it out in the losers bracket because I have teams that look like this also.
There's some guy that drafted like a shit ton of Rams with Niners and was like sick of hearing us be like, you shouldn't take the Rams with the Niners because they'll play in round 2. And even though the teams are dead, they're like, but the Packers won and they're not playing the Niners. Need that victory. What's more dead? The Eagles Super Bowl or our playoff best ball teams? Probably the Eagles Super Bowl odds.
Probably the Eagles Super Bowl odds.
I'll say I started drafting a little bit of Romeo Dobbs on my final 4 draft.
Did you really?
Draft. Yeah. I mean, like he runs all the routes, so I was like, oh, on my final 3 of 150 drafts, I was like, we'll take Romeo Dobbs.
I assume you have Aaron Jones with all the Dobbs.
Not always, but some, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice.
So I'm gonna say Eagles. Eagles are next. I have some teams that are live.
I do have a team named Very Fun Ravens 49ers that is not going to advance.
I should have seen that coming.
Pat, who's on that team? Let me just hear it.
Yeah.
It's in 3rd place. It got passed by Allen.
Did you name it immediately after drafting or sometime this weekend?
No, I named it yesterday. When I was looking through, I was like, because it was advancing. I think it was advancing on the back of like some Ram stuff or something. And then it got passed. Let me see if I can find it.
I thought you named it that like before the contest, and then the games start playing, and you're like, oh yeah, this team's in last.
No, the only reason I only named ones that were advancing so that I knew like what was actually fun and what sucked. Because I have so many teams that are completely dead that are going to advance.
I'd kill to advance some teams at this point, if I'm being honest. I'm scrolling through. Let me advance something, please.
Who on the teams can be the next Jake Ferguson? Like, what are the kind of teams that you can drag to the finals with just like a landmine of dead players? You need like Nico Collins with like Jake
Nico,
Ferguson,
right? Nico's the
something like that.
Well, I was going to say Packers players. Like Packers could be down big and still just throw into Aaron Jones dump offs or whatever, like as they're down 30. Not to say the Packers aren't a good team, but like 49ers are a juggernaut and the Packers are probably going to lose and they could still put up points and you could get 28 from Jordan Love and be like, that's the worst 28 points I've ever felt.
I think that's the right answer, but there's not that many Packers, but I guess they would have advanced at a decent rate. So.
Yeah, there weren't a ton of Packers drafted, like my Romeo's Dobbs teams, like there weren't a ton of them drafted, but all of them showed up to the next round.
Yep. God, what a weird year.
Look, one of these days strategy is going to work. Until then, we just keep drafting.
Have you been doing, I mean, I didn't do any playoff DFS, but I imagine that was tilting as hell.
In what way? Because in this way, it's very frustrating to be like, it didn't matter if you drafted Jake Ferguson or not. You were right in advancing, and it will not matter at all. Whereas at least DFS, you can say like, I played Jake Ferguson and I won money.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna min cash my Jake Ferguson team.
Well, just because there's like a lot of randos who went off.
Jake Reed zeros on them.
No, I love mostly when randos go off. Like I was on Romeo Dobbs on the slate. He went off. Did I make money? Let's be clear. I didn't make any money. But but like I actually think short slates are really good. I think people play worse on short slates. So
okay.
What do you think? You think they go too Galbrain or too conservative?
I think there are probably way too many people playing a lineup that is 100% the best plays. Just like straight up, I'm going to play all of the best running backs, all the best quarterbacks, and no players who are below 20%. I think people don't view a 2-game slate close enough to showdown as they should. Because where a 2-game slate, chopping is a legitimate concern. Like if all the chalk plays hit, there could be a 15-way chop for first. So I think people don't view it in that sense enough. Like maybe in general, they're sort of coming close to like playing some of the Galbrain plays correctly. But in terms of their lineup construction, there are a ton of lineups in a 2-game slate that are literally just duped. And like, I think I think most dupe sports are still where the edge is the greatest because people just cannot wrap their heads around like, I can't play all the best plays because even on a 11 game NFL main slate, you could play what you conceptualize as all the best plays and not dupe a lineup. Because like you could be 1 or 2 off on guys who are like 8% and be like, oh, I didn't build a dupe lineup. Not saying it's good or not, but you can build straight up 20x duped lineups on a 2-game slate. And I know for sure those are bad lineups. And I think slates where that happens, it's mostly 2 or 3 game slates or showdown.
Yeah.
Those are very like theoretically profitable slates. They're also the highest variance, hardest to realize your edge slates.
Yep. Well, that's how like Ricky D has won a couple of those where he plays like essentially the chalk lineup, but then instead of the like wide receiver 3 that everyone's playing, like he goes from Jaden Reed to Romeo Dobbs, you know, like
Sure,
you
yeah.
do that pivot and it's like the exact same lineup, but just kind of swerve the field's overconfidence.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a, you know, we talk about like, oh, what's your, you know, like I think in 2020-ish around like, oh, sum ownership. What's your sum ownership? What's that? And then you realize like, oh, there's a difference between playing a bunch of 50% players paired with a bunch of 1% players versus a complete stack of 20% players. The product ownership does not work out the same way, and your average dupes do not work out the same way. What just happened? I hear it seems like something.
Just had a bad draw.
Baker just scrambled and kept extending the play and then narrowly misses Rashad White for a first down. I truly feels
really
like
Baker, not White.
Yeah. Do you have the game pulled up, Kyle?
I just did now. I totally forgot we were even back at after halftime, and it's been minutes after halftime.
This is how you know he's all about Skolansky's. Didn't even know there was a game on. Oh, Baker just got rocked.
Getting a punt.
We need some Bucks scoring. Like we need some Godwin in our lives if the Bucks are going to lose this game.
Yeah. Well, they're not, but
I was going to say, it doesn't even seem like they're going to lose, man. Eagles are just like done for.
I mean, they're down 7 and they're getting the ball.
I mean, they're playing really I don't mean they're done for in like in a they can't win this game sense, but man, they're as a team, what hope do you have if you're an Eagles fan? But for sure, they're like still alive in this game. But man,
what do you mean? Like for this season, for this run, or are you like just like where are the Eagles now?
Honestly, in this game, it also feels like they're done for. You've put up 9 points against a very weak Buccaneers defense. You also feel done in this game, but also in a more broad like Super Bowl aspirations, they also feel done.
Yeah,
but like we've played 33 minutes of football, and you've put up 9 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, AJ Brown's out. There's some shit that's obviously not right. I think they could get right offensively next year. Like, if we're talking about like long term, I think they could get right.
Yeah, it just
Hurts like probably wasn't healthy for most of this year. His knee's been kind of a pervasive issue.
Who's on the broadcast for this game? I was listening to it earlier, and I've had it on mute for a while.
Buck and Aikman.
I think it was Aikman who was saying like, wouldn't be surprising for in February for them to say like, oh yeah, he had like a pretty massive knee surgery 2 weeks after the season. That actually checks out. Like 100%. This seems like a season in which we find out he was playing with some very serious knee stuff and just played through it, even if that wasn't in his best interest.
For sure.
I could see that.
They are going to probably lose J.C. Kelsey. I think he retires. I mean, this could be the end of the Eagles, man. He's like 36. He's like the oldest offensive lineman in the league. And he's really good. He's like the key to their tush push.
It is crazy that like I definitely think he could retire, and he would retire still as probably one of the best offensive linemen, period. Not even at his position, but just one of the best, most valuable offensive linemen. Like he still has, I mean, the way he's playing right now still has years to his game left. But if he leaves, like they're already struggling right now. Imagine if the free touchdown play loses its equity, even a little bit, loses its equity.
Yeah,
man.
Playbook's out. Bucks already stopped it. The tush push has been solved.
Did they stop it? I've had this game on and off while I'm cleaning my apartment.
On a 2-point conversion.
They definitely have not looked right for a long time. It's been painful to watch them week after week for the last couple of months.
I know it sucks because when they're on, Eagles are a fun team. I was talking to like some Browns friends and I was like, oh man, Steelers are getting routed. And they're like, ooh, sorry about that. Because they know I'm like my whole family's from Pittsburgh. It's like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't want to see another Mason Rudolph game. I'm not rooting for Pittsburgh. Are you kidding me? I'm rooting for Josh Allen because Josh Allen's fun. In the same way that like when the Eagles are cooking, I'm rooting for them because I want to see another Eagles game and I want to see them play well. I don't even care if they make another game the way they're playing right now.
That's right. That's right. Because that is the
fan?
fun thing with the Bills, but it's and typically would be with the Eagles, but it's like I kind of want to see Baker. Maybe Baker will go into Detroit and cook a little bit. Who knows?
Those guys in a dome, Baker and Goff in the dome, sound fun.
That sounds like a ridiculous game.
Kyle, did you see that ad? UFL, March 30th.
Ooh.
I don't know if I can get back into it.
You know,
you know as well as I do. I don't know if I can get back into it. Cut to 2 months later. All right. USFL roster 53 man. Like,
I mean,
is Jeff Badet or whatever his name is still playing in those? I feel like he's been in every one of the leagues.
He has been in every one of them, and I always feel like he's way worse than he should be.
Yeah. Everyone wants to
the
play
big
him.
success story was Kavonte Turpin, USFL to
legitimately
Dallas
very
Cowboys.
good. Yeah.
He's sick. Oh, we got a
PJ
hold.
Walker.
I thought that was going to be a penalty on the shot on Hurts. That's a helmet to helmet, is it not?
Yeah, they threw the flag. I thought they threw the flag.
They threw a flag for a hold, I think, on the offensive line. There's a Devonta catch for a loss, Pete. That's what we're looking for. We need some catches. Oh, they called both. They called it offsetting. That makes sense.
Who would be the biggest XFL success story? Probably Donald Parham for consistency.
He was sick.
Yeah, probably Donald Parham.
PJ Walker had a few.
PJ Walker. He's
it's difficult to say because like PJ Walker has probably
Dernis Johnson. Dernis Johnson is my answer. He was in the very first XFL.
He was
AAF.
AAF.
That's right.
And
yeah,
he was he was actually good in the AAF.
Yeah. And then he immediately made it to NFL, and he's been pretty good with the Browns and Jags.
He's like a super goofy, like high yards per touch player with the Jags. Like he has like 17 touches, and he's averaging like 9 yards per touch with the Jags.
And he was like that with the Browns too. He had like a one little run with the Browns.
I think PJ Walker will probably have made the most money, like because he's going to be a backup-ish quarterback, like QB3 more so.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll, and not only that, but he deserves to be that guy because if you watched him play in the XFL, he was very fun. Like he was slinging it, like making like goofy no-look throws and stuff. It has not translated, but it is translated into him making money.
The Dallas kicker, who we shouldn't pronounce. No, don't say it because they'll get mad at you if you say it wrong. His name is Brandon. That's what we're going with here.
What is it? Is it Abre?
Yeah.
Oh, catch the ball, Goddard. Yeah, I mean, you might have been getting held, but also that ball hit your hands.
By the way, I listened to a little bit of the game while I was out there, and Aikman was like, "Man, without AJ Brown and now losing Julio, there's just
they've lost the engine.
Their key receivers are dropping like flies."
It sounds like Aikman's playing Showdown. He was like, we didn't have Bateman, and then we had $800 Julio, who we needed 2.6 points from.
That's exactly right.
How would it be if we ever just got like a casual Showdown salary reference on there,
amazing.
like the way Mike Tirico used to reference the spread?
Yep.
Yeah. Al Michaels, he loved to always hint at the spread. That was always his thing.
You could tell what he was betting too. Like you knew what side he was on. He was either happy or mad.
So we're one catch away on Devontae. Goddard already got us there. Baker's leading Hurts. Rashad's leading Swift. It really just feels like Godwin at this point.
And how many more do we need?
Oh, God, a lot.
A lot, because it's 9:45. We pretty much need a touchdown at this point. But
didn't he have a long catch at one point? No.
I think it felt longer to us
that
than
was-
it actually was.
I think I'm thinking of the David Moore play again. All the David Moore stuff's been like, that's not Godwin. Third down. We got Taco Bell ads in the chat.
There's that Gainwell. What do we have for the Gainwell at halftime?
We needed like 6 more receiving yards. He got one
Oh,
of them
God.
there.
Just need 5 more of those, and we'll get there.
Yeah, we had it because he had 10 heading in, and the line was at 14.5.
We needed 5, and we got 1.
I don't think they put a number for his receptions up either.
I was like, that's 1 catch. No, that was not. It
All
was
right.
not 1.
It's time for the Baker legacy drive.
Here it is.
Capped off with a Godwin tutty.
This game sucks. This game sucks. I'm going to go grab a little snack. I'll be right back before the Baker legacy drive.
I feel like, except for Rams Lions, the best parts of the playoffs so far have just been watching one mostly young quarterback just route another team. Like, there haven't been good games. There have been great individual performances by players, but
Yeah.
this first round, people talk about all the time, like, oh, if we expand the college football playoffs to 8 teams, you don't want to see who Georgia is playing in the first round or whatever. We're kind of getting that this year. We're like, do we really need the 7th team to get in? And ironically, the 7th team would have been the Packers.
Yeah, I mean,
but in terms of the quality of teams, the 7th best team, the 6th best team, I don't know. Do we really need to see Bucks Eagles?
Even that Lions Rams game petered out. Like the first half was so fun. And
yeah,
then
Lions
Sean
are going to
McVay-
play 49ers, right? Like, did you watch that and think, oh, they can beat the 49ers? Like, no, I don't think anyone
Dude,
watched
golf-
that and were like, this
San
is
Francisco sounds like a bad time, like a real
Very.
bad time.
Yeah. I mean, no one looks like. I mean, honestly, the Packers look the most live
100%.
to beat the
Yep.
49ers of any of the remaining NFC teams.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Chiefs-Bills game could see being very fun. I feel like that game is going to be fun, but not in a shootout kind of way. You know?
I could see that.
Yeah, I agree with
Be
you. Yeah,
close and entertaining and but not like just exchanging touchdowns.
the Bills are going to run the ball because you can run the ball on the Chiefs, and they're all about running the ball now. And the Chiefs will probably run the ball a little too, and then they'll pass the ball like a little bit more, maybe. Like they'll
And
be
then
maybe
Meeko's going to
first to
drop
the other
one,
pass.
and they're going to go back to the run.
Right. Meeko's going to drop the ball. They're going to do some weird ass screenplay that was designed for Tony, but like MVS is running it, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, I do. I think if we get Bucks Lions, that's our best chance at like 65 points being scored.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I guess if the Packers hang, that could.
I think
Get
Packers
rolling.
can hang. Like, dude, Jordan Love is playing absolutely unconscious right now. He's playing so good, and he's played that way for 2 months. So, like, I think he can sustain it. So, I actually say that is my pick for if a game goes over 50. It's that one. I still don't have a ton of confidence that they win, but like we just said, like if a team in the NFC can beat the 49ers, honestly, the way the Packers are playing, it's them. It's not anyone else.
Right. DK says Packers are going to hang on.
I totally agree with you guys. As you were saying that, I think that's one of the big winners of this weekend was the Niners, because I think 2 teams that you could have thought could have beat them would have been the Rams, just because of the McVay Shanahan thing, and then obviously the Cowboys were statistically the most.
They're just
likely.
actually a good team. Like they've been straight up one of the better teams this year.
And they both got beat. Like those are probably. I mean, the Niners are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, you guys talk about who's most likely to beat them. No one's going to beat them. Like they're not. At this point, they're just there. They're already in the Super Bowl.
I do hope we get a Ravens Niners Super Bowl. That's like the only one that, you know, outside of like the crazy shit. Like, yeah, loving the Super Bowl would be fun, but like that's what we need, because a bunch of those other matchups just seem like.
I think Bills in the Super Bowl.
Bills Niners, it's good.
Yep, Bills. Yep.
Bills Niners, yeah. I guess I just don't want the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. This version.
Nope, I agree with that.
Yeah, they're not going to be that
enough of these dorks playing football. More than enough.
I have enough gauntlet teams that I could.
I
watch
knew you were going to go in the bag
more.
defending.
Just a little more. Not defending.
Early aesthetics of who you want to watch. Separate.
No. From an aesthetic standpoint, I couldn't agree more. But also, just a little more is okay too.
You got to start naming all your Chiefs Niners teams. Very fun Chiefs Niners teams.
That's the whole bag. There's like, it's easier to name like, oh, the Bills, weird.
I think I'm boycotting naming until the conference championship. There's just.
What if I told you I found that Aaron Jones Dobbs team? Could I name that one?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, apparently it's Mike Evans on it too. Have fun.
Share it. Can you screen share it? I want to see it.
It's on DraftKings. I'm not trying to find this team.
It should be advancing, which is probably.
It's advancing. It's like one of the very few advancing teams I have.
Yeah, no, I'm not advancing very many teams on DraftKings.
Look, the theory was never to advance a lot of teams. To be clear, it was for the teams that do advance to be good.
That's what I've been told, that you're supposed to lose a lot of money after round one, and then it's supposed to just slowly go all the way up until a Jake Ferguson, Lamar Jackson squad wins you all the money.
All right, look, I know DraftKings doesn't let you name teams, but like if I could name this team, it would be a very fun Chiefs Packers team.
Yeah, I have a team. This team is just it just went off on DraftKings. 159 points. Unfortunately, it's a Dak Prescott team. It's
bad sack.
Yeah. Not great.
All right. Well, I have another team that could be pretty fun if the Cowboys had won and Rachaad White scores another 22 points. So how do we feel about that?
If the Cowboys had won and Rachaad White goes up.
Exactly.
Man. Yeah, this initial. I mean, Baker's got a 23-point cushion on Hurts. Rachaad has a 23-yard cushion. Rachaad has a 22-yard cushion on Swift. Goddard's there. Just need Godwin. That's 5 picks for 3.6K, boys.
Has this chat ever eaten an apple before? These guys are like really impressed with how I just down that apple. I mean, apparently
bad night to be an apple on the shipcast.
Chris just made love to that.
I'm not gonna fuck around eating an apple. Like
here's what I'll say. I didn't know there was an apple.
I didn't either. I didn't even know until you said it.
The chat might have a point, man.
Yeah, I mean, I housed an apple. Like I just muted it and then I ate the apple.
This fucking dude.
You know the seeds contain like a cyanide, right? You don't want to get too close to those.
Is it arsenic or is it
I
cyanide?
didn't know that.
They contain. I thought it was cyanide. It might be arsenic. I don't know.
Something bad.
What? No, I didn't eat the seeds. I did not know that either.
They also don't contain nearly enough. You need to eat like 5,000 of them to be clear. Don't panic. Don't panic.
It's not a cyanide pill. Okay, got it. I was about to go puke.
It's cyanide.
It is. Yeah.
Kyle was right.
But they don't contain nearly. You need like hundreds, if not thousands, of them. So Gretch, don't throw up, please. On stream, Don't throw up. It'll make me throw up. So please don't. I like someone in chat's like, I've eaten them. Trust me, it's safe to eat them. I see he's just chowing down. It's like, no, it's okay.
It's like when you're a kid and someone's like, Daddy Longlegs are the most poisonous spiders in the world. And you're like, fuck, man, I see those all the time. And they're like, but they're too small to actually make an impact when they bite you. And you're like, phew. That's how I felt that Apple story just played out for Ben.
And so you eat all the daddy long legs.
It's like a real, it's like a real 10-year-old fact, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's a camp fact.
This chat is insane. Look at this apple eating chat. No, have you ever eaten an apple? I'm rock hard. Like what?
So fun to see like a fruit on this show instead of Taco Bell. They're like, holy cow, these guys are finally flexing a balanced diet.
These guys are like, Gretch eats apples the way most people eat chicken wings, right down to the bone core. I can't believe that apple's the most interesting part of the stream.
God damn it.
That apple had a family. Oh, man. Like, the chat has been, like, kind of in a lull, and they came out when the apple came out. Like, everybody had thoughts. Yeah.
If we can't get first downs, we're going to just keep bringing out produce. I mean, whatever we need to do, guys, to keep this show. I think I got a zucchini upstairs.
I do not want to know what happens with the zucchini.
Dude, April absolutely deletes berries. Like, this girl is just obsessed with berries, man.
No.
We give her food and she starts going more. And then, but she doesn't want the food we gave her. And she starts looking at the fridge. She's like, bring the fucking berries out. Let's just quit all this bullshit. The broccoli, the chicken. No. Get the fucking berries rolling.
That's hilarious. Ooh, we got a safety, boys.
Wow.
That is intentional grounding.
Is that going to be intentional grounding?
Or safety.
Good God.
I'll be honest. I stopped watching this game a while ago. Whose safety was it?
Eagles.
Hurts is like, there was a receiver there. He was down. There was no receiver. Didn't get anywhere near the line of scrimmage.
But he had a chance to get rid of the ball, and then he didn't. And then he tried to like throw it while he was flipped upside down. Like, that's not going to work.
I mean, that was a microcosm of the Eagles season right there. In terms of like us saying that they had no chance to get back in this game, they're down 7. They get the ball back. Like, did anyone think they're going to go tie it? No. Jalen Hurts is going to be upside down in the end zone trying to throw the ball and getting fucking intentional grounding while he's on his head. It was amazing.
Wow, that's so bad.
Man, so they went from that Gainwell play where he tried to change field.
Was that a handoff?
Loss.
Oh, thank God. I thought it was a catch. I was like, that would have been bad. No, has there been any yards in the third quarter? As soon as Kyle came on, this whole fucking game just stopped. It was just become punt centric.
Dude,
my apologies.
In that, so that in that extra point now changes it from a 1 score to a 2 score.
That's right. They made the extra point too, but the Bucs went off sides, so then they went for 2 on after the penalty.
Man, Pete, you called it, man. This Eagles team just does not have it.
I tried my best to mush it, man. I really did. Should I try to reverse mush Chris Godwin right now?
Yeah.
David Moore's backup. Maybe he can get his wife on Instagram, manufacture some more targets for him because he's not earning them himself.
Yeah, I guess that expired, huh?
Yeah. The squeaky wheel always needs a little bit more oil. I feel like every Bucs drive has had one back-breaking dropped pass. Either Baker barely missing the throw or a pass catcher just egregiously dropping a ball. I'm at the point of the sweat where I do the thing where I just stare at Chris Godwin at the bottom of the screen and watch what he does.
Godwin, do something.
I'm in that part of a lot of sweats. I'm just scouting one guy.
Waylon says Eagles putting up the same amount of resistance as Gretch's apple.
Kyle, you got any fun like
Any
showdown
apples?
sweats going on?
Any
Anything
apples over
like
Got any fun fruit stories, bud?
Oh, Gretch, what did you ask? Someone was
I was wondering if you had any good sweats. We had a good season with our guests coming on and winning stuff. I want to know what you're playing with right now.
I have a team 22nd.
Dude, Trey Palmer!
Well, that doesn't help. God damn it.
That just fucked your shit up.
I was gonna say I had a team that was like top 20 in one of the 100K to first for DraftKings.
Oh fuck! But it didn't have Trey Palmer on it.
As you may have screamed into my ears, it has Devonta, Dallas, and Eagles defense, which just lost some points. So love to see that. You very
boo, happy. Trey Palmer, boo. I'm sad. I'm kind of a Trey Palmer slappy. Sorry.
I feel like
and that was a pretty sick move. That was Trey Palmer's best fucking play of the season right there. I mean, he's had some good plays too, but that was pretty sweet. What was the Tuttle story, Pete, about Palmer?
Oh, I can pull it up. I just saw it come back on my feed here. It's pretty funny. Let me pull this up. So Tuttle says, before last week, maybe a bit of a heat check, Trey Palmer has scored a TD every time he's woken up pissed off, and then he lists the box score. But then there was these tweets. December 31st, I woke up pissed off. October 1st, I woke up pissed off. November 19th, 2022, I woke up pissed off. November 25th, I woke up pissed off more than ever. 2 hours ago, I'm pissed off.
No way.
Holy shit.
That's amazing. He always scores a TD when he tweets this?
I think he's 5 for 6 now, was it?
So this means he was checking. Tuttle checked college box scores. 2 of these are from last year.
Oh yeah, no.
Before last week, he had scored a TD every time he'd woken up pissed off. Amazing.
Pretty wild.
So what are we sweating for the underdog slips here? We
need Godwin.
Well, for not happening on this trip.
If that would have been Godwin, things would have been a lot more fun.
Yeah, there would have been a lot happier over here.
Yeah, and Leone's going to start chirping about how I should have just included Baker in that other one too. Based on like Mike Evans 8 out, we just need like 1 catch from him. We need 1 catch from David Moore, and we need a touchdown from Chris Godwin. And then we can just fucking sweep all the pick'ems today.
Did you say you need 1 catch from David Moore?
Yes.
That was the halftime build.
We just correct me if I'm wrong. You need 1 catch from David Moore.
Let me see if I can confirm that for you. David Moore, 2.5 receptions, currently sitting at 2. Yes, we need 1 more catch from David Moore.
All right.
Why that bet was made is a good question. That's what you're thinking. That's what I'm thinking at this stage.
This one's just going to tilt my face off because you hit the spice, you nail the rivals. Devonta is going to get another catch, Lord willing. And this Chris Godwin thing was just a disaster.
Just being a little B word.
A little beta to David Moore.
Oh, buddy.
I wish Chris Godwin was pissed off right now.
Yeah, why isn't he pissed off?
Yeah.
For how long did you think that Trey Palmer was Chris Godwin on that play?
Honestly, I thought it was David Moore.
No, dude, like the third step he took, he was running faster than either of those guys has ever run. Like,
All right,
he
someone
looked
get
so
Pat the
fast
1-800-GAMBLER number. If he thought Chris Godwin was David Moore.
No, I
This
thought
guy
Trey Palmer
named
was
a
David
dead
Moore.
team a fun team. I think we need to get him on the line ASAP.
No, isn't that showing that I can still have fun even if I'm not winning? I'm just enjoying the game. Naming my dead team's very fun.
Trey Palmer, especially if you go back to preseason, has like 6 really sick plays this year. Like, he made a couple really nice plays in the preseason. He has a couple other really cool catches. I mean, like, he only has like 12 catches. So for the whole, it's like there's not a lot else on. It's either a highlight or you're not going to see him for the day. I'm kind of in, though. Kind of like Trey Palmer.
And Eagles just so scared right now that they're just jamming DeAndre Swift down multiple scores. My big sweat is I also bet the over on this one at 43. Sitting at fucking 34 and it feels dicey.
Yeah, you need the Eagles to score here.
Yeah.
Which they can do, but that would help.
I think we could all gather around a 70-yard
There it is.
touchdown. I think we.
There's the Devonta
All right,
Smith.
there's the Devonta. All right. Chris Godwin suck out TD one time.
Devonta's having a little day. That's good for our FFPC bags. 6 for 126. Gotta like that. Goddard got about 14 as well.
Swift has kind of sneakily closed the gap on Rashad. 10 yards. But we should get a decent amount of Rashad in the fourth quarter.
It's nice for the McLaughlin stuff that the Bucks look like would win.
Right.
Makes him way less interesting.
Man, if that Trey Palmer TD was just Chris Godwin, guys, we'd be fucking ringing the bell.
Yeah, too bad Chris Godwin isn't as good as Trey Palmer.
We would have all been door dashing Macintosh apples.
Gala.
I think I'm gonna DoorDash some Indian food right now.
Oh shit. One of the hottest topics in the ship chasing Discord. I feel like once every couple months, there's a passionate discussion on Indian food.
We found a really good place out here.
Have you still not had a California burrito, Pat?
I meant to ask you where I'm supposed to go again.
You've been there for how long?
What's the name of the place?
Ortiz is in Point Loma.
But
You can throw a stone and get like you're around all kinds of good taco shops. You should at least
No, there's one. I go to one all the time. I haven't done the California burrito, but I've gone.
What's a
Like,
California burrito? What makes it special? What's so California about it?
So it's instead of rice, it's potatoes.
Oh, that sounds up
and
my alley.
Yeah. That's the big difference. Although and then carne asada.
Sure.
Where are you based out of, Kyle?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Don't worry, we don't have to Google Maps and do the full self-docs like Sanderson. I just wanted to vicinity.
That was so funny.
That was so.
We get down to like his block, and he's like, "No, over there, over 2 streets over."
That's definitely not where I live.
Like, I'm right. Oh no, wait, over there.
It's such a trap for Jacob too, because like teeing him up to talk about his home, and he gets so excited about it that next thing you know, he's told us his social security number.
Exactly right.
Like without you doxing him, is he Canada?
Yeah.
Trust me,
Oh, yeah.
we can be a lot more specific.
We could be a lot more. He's in Vancouver, BC.
Okay.
And we were looking at like Stanley Park.
Yeah.
Stanley Park, very famous, looking at that. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I live really close to Stanley Park. I'm like right on this end." And we were like on Google Maps, like sharing it. And he just was like, "Yeah, no, zoom in right there. Zoom in right there." And then
That's
we're like,
me staring at the Google Maps guy.
"No, wait, move over this way, like a lot." I think I could pinpoint to a 3-block radius where he lives, like based on that exercise. I still think I could do it right now, which is not great for Jacob Sanders.
Devonta Smith on his way to joining Puka and Ferguson on the zombie advance one-off plays.
Pat, you can attest to this in our Discord. How many times did I say, "Oh man, all the fish are going to advance the worst teams"? Guys, we're going to have so many terrible teams advancing. We're going to get nuked by the fish advancing bad teams. Every 3 hours, I was in the Discord saying that. You'll never believe what happened.
Wow, did he catch that? Dude, Smith is going off.
You might be a few plays behind us, Pat.
Yeah.
I'm trying to order Indian food, so I probably am. Oh, I'm way behind. Yeah.
Nobody does. Everyone has their slants, but I think, Kyle, you have squatters right on the pre-tilting and post-tilting of the fish getting there.
I only have it like there are better Twitter tilting tweeters than I, but
yours is the most articulate.
I like that. Yeah.
Some people just, rage smash their keyboard, when someone's son runs on them, but you compose.
Can see it coming, you're like,
Yes.
I understand how I'm going to lose. And I understand that it's going to happen tonight at 8:45 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. Sometimes I notice it's written in iambic pentameter. I'm like, wow, I really spent a lot of time on this tilt message.
I love that you guys have hundreds of teams, and I literally drafted 2, and I'm obsessed with the one.
We're obsessed with those 2 teams.
No, just the one. And the second team I drafted really was like you guys always talk about it, and we've drafted on the stream enough. Like I know what you mean. It was the team where you're like, I drafted a perfect team. This is amazing. I almost like sent it to you guys in our chat and was like, this is so fun that I got a chance to draft this team. Because it's a 4-4 Niners and Bills, and then I did Montgomery and Laporta as the third team, and I was able to get 2 pretty good Lions to help advance rate.
Which contest was it in?
It's just in the mitten. I was I'm gonna start a couple mittens while I'm in a conversation. I'm gonna draft these teams, and then it was too hard to do it because I was legit just talking to my buddy in the front seat, riding across the freaking South with him. Actually, right after I drafted this team, we crossed over into Louisiana, and then I tried to enter another one, and I saw the sign, tried to enter one right after it, and it's you're not allowed to in this jurisdiction. I was like, how are you guys that fucking good? You're that good. I'm 100 feet into Louisiana right now.
Oh, here's a team where if Leonard Fournette scores 2 touchdowns every week until the Super Bowl, I might win some money. That's fine.
So what is the story behind what? They just like Latavius Murray more than him?
Ty Johnson, man. They love Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
Well,
But wasn't Latavius active over him too?
Was he this
Yeah, Latavius
past?
was active today.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna 2 weeks ago, it was the other way around. I think 2 weeks
Right.
ago, Lat was inactive and Fournette was there. So it was, I mean, maybe like it probably just doesn't matter. Like at the point you're like, oh, do we think we're gonna run one extra tush push where Leonard Fournette's 280 pounds helps us? Sure.
They
Put him in
kicked
for
the
that game.
Field goal.
And there's
They're
a
kicking
flag.
a field goal. You're down 16 with 12 minutes left.
It makes no sense.
They want to go home.
You're not going to get 3 scoring drives from here. I mean, I kind of get that the 16 is probably should be thought of as 3 scores because you have to get 2-point conversions just to tie.
They're getting
my
bailed
God,
out.
they get a first down.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
No, I don't think they got a first down. I think they just got moved up.
So
And
they
now
can
they're
go
going to go
for
for it.
4th and 5. It was 4th and 10. I guess I kind of get like the logic was that 16 is more like 3 scores.
Nah,
But-
don't give in. Don't give in.
I
to
know.
don't give in to these, fake alpha bros saying, "Oh,
That's
it's
right. This fucking
No.
beta decision.
check your spreadsheets. What do they say? I'm sure they said, do not kick that field goal."
Ben,
Don't
if
give
you
in to that.
spent less time eating apples and more time actually playing the game, you'd know that you kicked the field goal there.
Got some apple in my teeth.
Bro absolutely deleted that apple.
I just love the one that was like, I'm rock hard. Oh, Devonta.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, but why is that the move that if on 4th and 5? You don't take a
Right.
shot to the end zone.
And he got back. Like, they brought a blitz.
That's honestly probably the best play in their playbook right now.
Yeah. Oh, catch that.
Oh my
They brought a blitz. He got backpedaled pretty far, and he had one-on-one, and he was like, I'm just going to put this up.
Samuel says, I want this game to be over.
He's having a hard time.
Oh, God.
Eagles fans, a little bit ago, he was writing something about deleting himself if they don't clean house or something. I was like, man, we're getting a little questionable here.
That Godwin suck out TD.
Oh,
I mean, this Eagles secondary won't tackle anyone. Like they're giving out slants to the house tonight.
except Rashad White. They will definitely tackle him, so they better not try to run. They better go screens to Chris Godwin. Dude, I could see a couple catches for Chris Godwin on quick hits on this. He just needs to break it for like 45 yards.
All right, I know I'm taking this in a different direction, but hear me out. Sack, fumble, 6 for my DFS lineups. I would love a sack, fumble, 6 for my DFS.
This is the point of the stream where we're all randomly rooting for just the most silly shit.
What about Quez Watkins over 2.7 points, but no more than 4.6 points? That would be bad. But, over 2.7.
I
think he's due for 3.5. I think that's exactly right.
I just realized I could have been tilting more, I think, because I'm in second
Oh, nice.
in this 3rd and short for 2K with
Oh, man.
Devonta.
You should
And I
have been
didn't even
tilting
think
big time.
I didn't think I had a
Yeah,
chance
come on.
at first, but 11 points out. That Devonta 6.5.
If he caught that,
I'm probably just out of it still.
Yeah.
But then I probably could get there if they get the ball back.
that was what,
you've got
30
a
yards?
sweat going on. You can start sweating the sweat if Devonta catches that one.
Right. If he catches that, you get at least about 9 points there. So you're pulling within range.
This was it was a Matthew Stafford double stack with Puka and Cup, Aaron Jones, Jake Ferguson, Mini, one off. Devontae Smith, and this was like Devontae's ADP was just like broken because people were just anchored to the pre AJB news because this team was probably drafted on like Thursday or Friday last week.
That's a sick
But
team.
man, the cup one hurt too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but it's time to direct our efforts to Christopher
No,
Godwin.
that's not Godwin.
That's not
Who
anyone.
was
it a
that?
pick
Who
six?
is that?
Is that Keefe? Oh,
Coach
Payne
Durham.
Durham, of course. Payne Durham.
Dude, I can't believe that they brought up Laird off the practice squad, but then didn't activate him tonight. Getting a little Laird garbage time would have made me so rock hard. I just wanted to have him in some of my showdown lineups. I mean, these contests were like 140,000 tonight. Some of that I was like, it literally would have been Laird season.
Playoff Patrick.
Good news is you'll probably have the chance to lose that money again next week. So it looks like you're gonna win.
Let me lose
Godwin's
that money
open.
in peace.
Yeah, Godwin caught a pass. That's a point.
All right, 9 more of
Okay.
those.
He got like 5 yards and a half a point for the catch. It's a whole point.
Do we still need
I
the
love
Smith catch for our pick'em?
No.
You got
Oh,
the
got it?
catch, I think.
No, Smitty cleared big time.
Yeah.
It's seriously all on Godwin
Yeah.
for
We're
like
down- we're
almost
down to
4K. It's like not an insignificant amount.
Come on, man.
He's at 3.7, and we need him to 9.85. But
I
we're
mean,
at the
they're
point of the
throwing.
game where, yeah.
We need a touchdown. We need
I
a
will
game
also
to
say
do.
DeAndre Swift is now only a half yard off of Rashad, so we could use a little Rashad check down action too.
Is this rushing yards or total yards?
Total.
yards.
But you
Wait.
gotta think, man. I mean, the Eagles can't use Swift anymore this game.
Yeah, this
PR
is like
half-
Gainwell script to a T. You'd think, obviously.
But Sirianni's like, time to establish it. Godwin in motion.
Oh, he's there.
Eyeing that
he
slant
was
to the house.
looking.
Oh,
Oh, Baker, find him, buddy.
Eight Otten.
man, he squeezed that one in there.
How many points does Cade Otton have? I mean, is Cade Otton? That was another tight end. People were like floating in the chat. When we were doing our show last week, I was like, guys, we can't be fucking discussing Cade Otton out here. Well,
Otten has
probably could've.
15.4 DK points, 7 for 84.
It's not a tight end premium format, I believe.
people forget.
Is Godwin even in?
No, I don't think he's in.
I don't think Rashad
Neither
White
Rashad
has been
White
in this
is.
whole
That
drive.
was Chase Edmonds. So
Wait,
that was
hold on.
just a
Someone,
bad snap.
someone check Chris Godwin's wife's Twitter. Does she have anything to say about this?
Was that a hold? Because that would be good. They'd have to throw. We'll take that. First and 20. Just saying, first and 20 is a good situation when you need the winning team to be passing. There's Keefe. I knew he was around here somewhere.
I played Keefe in Showdown once. It didn't matter. I remember literally sweating like I needed 2 points from Keefe, a 10-yard catch. This goober.
Oh,
Let me tell you, he did not get it.
He did not do it.
Has Godwin out there now?
That's not him.
That's Evans.
It's Mike Evans
Hmm.
making a really nice back shoulder catch. But it wasn't our guy. Wow, Cade Otton, 8 for 89. Pete wasn't kidding. Jesus. Guy's putting up numbers. Just balling. That was only Evans' second catch of the game. These guys are just getting backseated by Cade Otton and David Moore and Trey Palmer.
This has been the whole playoffs. Like the Bucks are going to win this game. None of their pieces are going to help you advance teams in playoff best ball. The Eagles are going to help you advance teams, and then they get bounced. It's all going to be Eagles, Rams, Cowboys shit next week. It's crazy.
So we need 8 more Godwin yards, 7 more Evans yards, and 1
5
Gainwell
more
catch.
Gainwell.
No, I
Well,
shouldn't
there's
say
some
that.
white to get a little distance over Swift.
We need the Godwin suck out TD.
We do.
They're driving. Are we close enough on that we just need a TD? Yeah.
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 We're down by 6.15. We'll get the half-point catch. As long as it wasn't a 1-yard run. Anything 2-yard run or a reception, and we'll get there.
I can't imagine a 1-yard Chris Godwin run for a
Little
touchdown.
goal line end around.
Jesus.
Come on. Chris Godwin touchdown.
Chris Godwin broken play.
Godwin did have a rushing TD not too long ago, but I think
In
it was a long one.
2019, actually. Let me see that.
No, it was like
Guys, this
5 weeks
Jaden
ago.
Reed team is
I
so
know.
fucking sick. Like, I think it might be live.
What are you looking at? More FFPC teams?
Or FFP, that Jaden Reed FFPC team.
With the one with Ferguson?
Yeah, because it has Ferguson and Puka, and it also has Rashad White with Jake Elliott. So, I mean, Elliott's not going to be great, but we get the Eagles fade correct. And then it has the Baltimore D. So we just get we obviously
Did
have
we-
to have the Ravens loss, but
Did we already check? Are there any Ferguson, Aaron Jones teams?
I don't
That's the
I'm-
thing none of us have checked. We don't want to. Leone doesn't want to see if there's
don't
any
wanna
great
check.
Ferguson teams.
You don't want to check it.
This guy will look at everything involving this contest, but that's where he draws the line.
He said eventually it's got to happen, but he's like, that's the thing I haven't done yet.
That's why I asked if we had a sheet with all the teams. That shouldn't be that
Teams,
hard to
right.
query. Just
So
transpose.
we have a team. This is this team would be pretty amazing if we went with it. It's the very first team in the sheet. Gretsch made it, I believe, during the stream because it's the team number 1. It's Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, Zay Flowers, Amon-Ra, Devonta, Evans. So we got both sides of this game. CD, Nico, Kelsey, Maher, Cleveland D, Pittsburgh.
Team
Pirates.
1 is that live? That's amazing.
It's pretty
I
clean.
literally made that while we were talking.
Yeah, we don't have Ferguson, but we don't have Puka. But the Devonta is like a little bit of like
Yeah.
a Puka.
Yeah.
You know,
And Evans will have room to gain on this. This is a pretty. I was literally like, we're gonna have such a long night. I'm gonna get started, make a couple teams, and I got through 2.
Who do you have? Who'd you say you have a tight end on that team?
that team has Kelsey at tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelsey's not a bad way to make up that ground you lost on
Right.
on Ferguson, obviously.
Yep.
And it's got CD, so you get 20. You don't get 40 like Ferguson, but you get 20 for the Cowboy that was eliminated. That's at least something.
Yep. You lock in the Devonta score, like you're gonna have it's the Puka thing again. So you don't have Puka, but at least you faded the Rams, and then you got Devonta.
Right.
So like the 2v2 off of like Elliott, Puka is a loss, but it's not going to be like a horrible loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty sick team. If Aaron Jones had another nice, a little run out in the next game, I mean, he's probably on all the top teams, actually. Yeah, he's up. So the team in 4th, Pete, I started clicking through to try to find Ferguson teams. The first 3 teams don't even have Ferguson. Team in 4th has Ferguson. It is a 5 tight end team. Ferguson, Mark Andrews, Goddard, and Njoku Kelsey with Puka and Aaron Jones. And it's a Josh Allen team.
That was my
a
thesis.
sick team.
That anyone who had Ferguson was doing some crazy ass shit elsewhere.
Right.
And that team is owned by Liam Murphy. He picked all the right plays once again.
No, because that would definitely have Kincaid on it. This has
Dude.
5 tight ends and no Kincaid somehow.
Guys, we didn't cover ourselves when we made the deal with the devil to finish 2nd in the FFPC, giving Liam the gauntlet. We didn't say he couldn't win the FFPC.
No, that tilts the scales. If it's winning the gauntlet and FFPC and we come in 2nd, we have to give that up.
I mean, it's a hard no, but we already made our bargain.
No, we're giving that up. Yeah, no. We're not taking that.
We're gonna do it for the better and the larger community. We would make that sacrifice.
We would.
Oh, our guy Ron Stewart, I think, if this is his username, isn't probably in 17th with a Puka team. Aaron Jones,
Nice.
pretty good team.
Someone in
That's
chat says there's 4 Ferguson plus Aaron Jones teams in the top.
In the whole
1,000.
thing?
And it says in the top 1,000, which you would assume that's
That's
yeah.
it.
If
you
you
have to be in the top 1,000. Obviously.
you did something horribly wrong if you have those not in the top 1,000.
If you're not in the top 1,000 with those
Yeah.
two, I'm not worried about you. Your team's dead. Like you must have zeros everywhere. Probably played.
That's pretty wild.
You're Mock Lovin entering the 555 best balls drafting Kyle Allen every time.
I mean, we have a.
I love that. That's great, dude. That's only 4 teams. Like that could be different quarterbacks than us. I mean, it could be there's a lot of room there. That's we need Aaron Jones to be massive for some of our best
this is
teams.
wild. They actually said that there are 25 total, which means 21 aren't in the top 1,000.
That's not right.
True.
Well, we have one that's
25, but most are dead. What? How?
I mean, I guess there are a lot of ways to score points. So
I'm telling
I
you,
guess.
the Fergie Galbrainers were not able to stick the
I know.
landing.
I know. Imagine getting the 2 most like absolute nuts picks you could do and fumbling it so hard.
What if I just had Mark Andrews, dude?
The guy in 4th also played Andrews. These teams probably have Andrews, AJ Brown. Like they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the 2nd round points on all these.
So Mark Andrews team, I'm gonna pay Kyle to ghostwrite a fish tweet for me.
Oh man.
Like we have one that's it's got a Houston fade and Amari. I guess it's our only Ferguson Jones team. But we have Amari Cooper and Houston.
Oh,
fade.
we have one of the 25.
We have one of the 25, but it's not good.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, the fish is coming from inside the house?
We have one of the fish teams. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh man, that's
It's
not
actually
fun.
it's not like completely dead. It's got Mike Evans and Philly D. It's got Pacheco, Amon-Ra, Puka. So it's like
Who's the QB?
okay.
Who's the QB?
Lamar.
Okay. Better than Andrews.
It's true. Better than Andrew.
Yeah, hang my hat on something.
It's just a shame that we have a Houston fade there with
Yeah.
Amari. Like even if you had a Njoku, maybe you could talk yourself into it, but
Oh, it has Puka.
it has Puka.
It's got a Houston full fade. Oh man,
Mhm.
that is a shame.
Man, that doesn't look good.
What happened?
Darius Slay, card out.
Amari Houston fade. This is the kind of shit. I mean, this is exactly right where people are saying there's 25 and 21 are dead. Like we have a Ferguson Aaron Jones that also has Puka Nacua, which is like legitimately one of the biggest hits in the entire tournament as well. Like Nacua and Ferguson together and Aaron Jones, that's like maybe the 3 biggest differentiating plays you could make in the first round. It also was a McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, Amon-Ra. It's got Mike Evans. Like it was actually playing Philly DST. It was playing the Eagles to lose. It's got so much right, but then fucked up the Houston Cleveland game.
Yeah, if you just go
Amari and
Nico
fade.
Cleveland fade, this team's sick.
This team's the nuts. It's the absolute nuts.
Is that team dead though with just that simple Cleveland Houston thing? Like I'm not entirely I mean, like I understand FFPC, but I don't know the math behind like if you fuck that one thing up, is it completely dead already?
It's a good question. I don't know for sure. Part of the issue with Houston specifically, because it wouldn't necessarily be true of every team that advanced, but their D scored 2 touchdowns. So like their D is going to be an optimal defense as well.
Yep.
To have a full fade on Houston when they have Nico who scored, Singletary who scored. Like it's like you guys were just talking about, like when the Eagles lose this game and none of their players, or like the Bucks are going to win. God Matini! God Matini! Yes! Let's go.
Wow, guys.
Wow.
I was just going to say the Bucks, if they advance, all their guys didn't really score. And so in 2 games, it might not really kill you to not have them. Houston, like anyone played from Houston scored well. So that's kind of why that particular game kind of fucks you. Even Singletary, Dalton Schultz, scored a TD, We crushed it.
Wow, guys. So
I hate to break it to the chat, but my New Year's resolution was strict intermittent fasting. Don't eat after 8 p.m. I am not ringing the bell tonight.
Holy cow!
We still need the
we do have to
the Swift one.
We do got to sweat a few things here.
Yeah.
All right. So Godwin's good. Devontae's good. Goddard's locked. I pretty much want to lock up the Baker Hurts thing.
100%. Yeah.
100 yards.
100 yards.
But this is where it's at. The DeAndre Swift, no check down DeAndre Swift. That's the fade right now.
Yeah.
This Michael Mazer, yes, that was a Sarah Saving Silverman reference, and I love you for getting that correct. Very well done.
Whew. Also, guys, this Gainwell one is live.
Oh,
the one from
nice.
halftime because Evans and Godwin both got there.
And ironically,
so we just want
that
Gainwell
one
on the
is
field,
kind of negatively correlated with the other one, right? More Gainwell would, de facto kind of mean less DeAndre Swift.
Yep.
That was electric.
Dude.
And the core.
Wow, guys.
Holy, if you would ask me for the true odds on a Chris Godwin suck out TD there, I think I would have said sub 1%.
Very low.
He Hail Mary chucked that thing too. Baker just pop flied that one.
While they were dominating, they didn't need that.
Yeah.
What a lucky break. Now we want a Gainwell catch, and we don't want any DeAndre Swift. Is that right?
Yes, no Swift.
Yeah, no
very scary.
Come on.
Did we just lose?
No. But it's
the gap is down to 3.5.
3.5. That has the adjustment baked in. Got it.
So, yeah, the adjustment's baked in. The silver lining is if we do get the ball back, we should get some Rashad carries.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's a good point.
Sack. All right, now take him out. Now you're in long down and distance. Bring in Gainwell. Come
on. What do we need for the other Gainwell one? I think that was maybe the second half.
10 yards, I think. We needed that one.
4.5 yards or 5
4.5
yards to clear.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay. All right.
And then it's just David Moore's one reception on the 5 pick.
Let's get Gainwell on the field. Come on. A lot of clock running. They huddled up. So did they get the... Oh, they still have Swift out there. Fuck. Pass block. No.
Fuck. All right, we're going to need Rashad.
Unbelievable. Are we seriously... man, that's brutal.
I think at this point we are 100% rooting for a long, obviously non-Swift touchdown because we need Bucks with time. Obviously, if they get it with 1 minute and 12 seconds left, they're
we actually want to score here.
Oh, we need an instant
out of timeouts.
Man, this is so sick. Why? The one time they're using is Gainwell hurt?
Now Goddard's hurt.
Jesus Christ.
Does DeAndre Swift have a run 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage and get tackled in him?
Dude, DeAndre Swift hasn't even been catching passes, and we're just gonna get 2 fucking little dump offs. You want him to get a 6-yard loss?
I mean, that feels like our cleanest path right now. Yeah, I mean, is there any point for Rachaad White to even be on the field unless they score a touchdown?
I mean, the most annoying thing is we need some Gainwell receiving. The running back dump offs to their guy that they normally play in this situation, but like the season's over, so they left Swift on the field?
I mean, there's still enough time right now that like an instant turnover, or I mean, they're not going to punt, so instant turnover probably puts the Bucs in a situation where, like, we need 1/2 first downs, and those are all Rachaad White. But the more plays the Eagles run with first downs, the less the Bucs even need to get a single one. So we need them to either instantly score or turn the ball over soon.
Jalen Hurts hasn't been checking down all year. Gainwell has been the guy who gets the checkdowns, and we just get 2 DeAndre Swift ones right there.
Fish get there again.
I mean, he's still in. Where the fuck is Gainwell? At least give us the 3-legger.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I would love to just hit the halftime 3-legger. I mean, come on.
I mean, this is
Fourth down.
such a sick swing. I mean, that check down being a $3,600
Dude,
check
Rachaad
down,
White's not going to come back on the field, guys. They're going to put their fucking backup QB and Chase Edmonds out there.
Yeah, once the guys
I
in
don't
the
think they'll put
Blazers
the
are on the
backups.
sideline.
Baker's
Mayfield's getting the
his
helmet on?
Yeah, he's getting the helmet.
Come on.
We need this stop, and then they'll be like a little over. Well, they almost 3 minutes left if they get the stop.
DeAndre Swift catches it and just goes out of bounds.
Goes out of bounds. All right, beautiful.
I mean, like, plant your foot and try to pivot back into the field.
Edmonds is going out. God damn it.
Yeah, dude, they're not putting White on the field right now.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Oh, Pete, you're fucking over too. Is at 41.
It all got
This
blown
did
up.
not go well.
That
Yeah, White.
This is all because I said I wouldn't ring the bell. This is my fault. I apologize. I karma'd it. I thought it was locked up. I didn't realize I was gonna.
I don't think that was it. I think this
It's
probably Sirianni's dumbass.
I believe in your crazy superstition.
Leaving Swift out there. Fucking A.
man.
Put in White. Put in White.
What do they say? It's better to have lived, to loved and lost, than to have never loved at all. That's how I feel about celebrating that Godwin.
Yeah,
team.
me too. It's probably good for our FFPC stuff anyway. Let me go to the transpose tab and see.
It's nice to watch Chase Edmonds have 8 yards on this possession.
2-minute warning. Key third down here to clinch it. Got to put in your number 1. Go get those tough 6 yards and then slide.
How could this franchise ever live with itself? They turned the ball over, Eagles scored, and then got 3 consecutive onside kicks. You got to put Rachaad White in. And this should have been Laird.
Should have been.
That's a good point.
Oh, Leone's fighting me in here.
Sorry, whoever is in there. I'm recalculating scores now, and then
The nerds are fighting in the spreadsheet. This is the most alpha line I've ever heard. I'm recalculating scores now, and then you can filter. Oh, man. That is so sick.
God.
How much money was that for? Let's just pour some salt.
Don't
$3,600.
ask. Don't ask.
$3,600 check down.
3,600. Nice. Yeah, that was good. That was fun.
And I promise we have not collectively made $3,600 on DeAndre Swift this year.
No, we haven't.
I thought we would have. If you would ask me after week 6, I would have been like, print fest.
He's just not very good, huh?
Nah.
No, I don't think so either. Can't take contact. The whole thing about him being really good before contact kind of proved true, but he basically became Najee Harris, like 9-yard runs when he was getting like good runs. Like he couldn't get a 20 plus because he refused to even take contact from a DB. Like gets downfield and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go down.
Well,
I got
this
a
is
9-yard
true.
run.
The core did hit.
The core hit, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. The core hit.
I didn't either. I was too dejected.
No, I knew the core hit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna do I'll get the wheel going. I'm gonna do a $100 gift card to the store. You guys can get some
Look at that. We made money.
chasing merch.
We actually profited like $50 after you take all our halftime bets.
Yeah. We didn't lose money, but what's the word? It's I've heard it before. It's called being upstuck, where we were upstuck because we realized the highs and then it was taken away from us.
Upstuck.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Eagles, really, this season. Similar.
Massively upstuck.
Yeah. And then they just
God damn it.
traded.
I was holding out hope that Rashad White would be on the field here.
That would have been so funny.
For
Our
the
only
third down
hope is
carry.
like Edmonds gets banged up on this play.
Well, I mean, they're going to punt.
All right.
They're going to run it all the way down, call a timeout, and then punt.
Still gives us a chance for our Gainwell second halfers.
Yes, we could get the Gainwell second halfer.
Eh?
Gerardo DFS. Congratulations, Gerardo.
Congrats.
Maybe Gerardo.
Let us know.
Awesome.
Is the G silent?
Are we working with an H here? Oh, they're going for it. It's still Chase Edmonds. Damn it. Call timeout. Oh,
David
they just
Moore
ran it.
catch for the Lulz?
All right, well, we got a Gainwell sweat, boys. Turnover on downs. What do we need from Gainwell? 6 yards?
Wow.
They got to put him out
You
there.
really
for this
need is
drive.
a -5-yard DeAndre Swift catch.
Or that,
yeah.
God, yeah. I think I would take that.
Yeah, so would I.
No. Could we get one of the lateral plays craziness?
Oh. But that won't count unless it's beyond.
They're not going to do that down 23. I've never seen anyone down 23 do that.
Dude, this is how Sirianni.
What about a
takes
trick
jobs.
play? What about a trick play where they
Gainwell's out there.
Okay.
We can get the Gainwell money.
Okay.
Let's go. Mariota's out there. Just throw it to
Wait.
Gainwell. Mariota's not going to throw it. He's going to run it and
He's
slide.
definitely gonna run it, dude. Running it and sliding would be such a Mariota move.
Let Gainwell cook.
Oh, they ran it to Gainwell.
Are you kidding me?
That's the ball game.
Are you playing to win? Or are you playing
Dude,
to lose? Eagle?
what is fitting about this is this is what the Eagles did to us is what they did to all of fantasy managers for the second half of the year. They just weren't fun. They just kind of sucked, and I'm glad they're gone. Bye,
And
Eagles.
they boned us each way. Once with Swift, once with Gainwell.
Yeah, they can just fuck off.
How about
I
we
don't know
just
why
get a
Gainwell
Boston
wasn't catching
Scott
the
TD to top it all off?
Gainwell should have been catching the passes. Swift could be doing some running now. That's how you did the shit all year. Just do that, and we win a
We
lot.
need Mariota to go Jameis Winston, rogue actor. Sirianni told me to hand it off, but I decided I was audibling to a check down to Kenneth Gainwell.
They're showing Jason Kelsey like it might be his last game kind of thing, I imagine.
Meanwhile, Leone typing, I added a dark red. That's basically like you're dead no matter what with this position. Leone is like deep in the color conditioning lab right now.
We have a pretty damn good Chris Godwin team. Lamar, Christian McCaffrey with Aaron Jones. It's Lamb instead of Ferguson, Goddard instead of Devontae, and it's got Michael Badgley. But otherwise, it's pretty damn good. It's got Puka.
Jason Kelsey's crying. They're saying he's done. He's done so.
All right.
Guys, I'm sorry. That was absolutely brutal. I thought we were just ringing the goddamn bell tonight there.
Me too.
Luckily, this isn't going to be the final shipcast. We're going to do one the Sunday night of conference championship weekend. No show Thursday. Not going to be a show next week because then we're just going to push it to the shipcast on Sunday. I'm going to be traveling this week, and yeah, so we will see you guys. A week from Sunday evening for another shipcast. Kyle, appreciate you swinging by.
Yeah, I have checked my pin Twitter. I have a dog I was fostering who's up for adoption. I have no written work right now, but I have a dog I've been watching. So check him out.
Oh,
I thought
cool.
you were doing a bit for a second. That's cool.
No. I have in the off season. I was like, you know what? Instead of writing, I'm going to fulfill myself. So check out my pin Twitter.
Awesome.
Cool. Props to you
Yep.
for doing that. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Pat, Gretch, anything else here before we don't see the people for a while?
No, they got enough of us in the last like 5, 6 days, 7 days, whatever. They can fuck off for 2 weeks.
I know. I'm on a ridiculous stretch of not too much sleep. I'm going to need a couple of nights before I head out to San Diego and this weekend. All right. Appreciate you guys. Good luck rest of the way with all of your dead Jake Ferguson teams in playoff best ball. You guys can join us in the Discord if you want to keep shit posting with everyone else, talking Indian food, whether Tua should get a contract, all that kind of good stuff that you'll find in the Ship Chasing Discord. For Kyle, for Pat, for Gretch, I'm Pete. We'll see you guys next Sunday.